Alright, so we are now all, good. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened. I wonder if it was like that yesterday for D&D. It might have been and nobody told me. That's fine. Okay, cool. Her eyes got fucky wucky shame because I liked die Stola's eyes. Oh yeah, she's got like blind eyes now, or they're like cloudy or something. I forget exactly how they look in game. Alright. We're playing Ace Attorney. Finally. Now we got all this audio shit sorted out. We find her first. She's hot. She is hot. She's like the like primary waifu of the entire community. What part are you at right now, anyways? Because you finished the bard stuff, so you're at level 60. Why did that? I was ready. She just woke up. I forget when that is. You're past the vault, so I have a decent idea of where you are. It's been a while since I played Heavensward. I'd have to look through the quests to figure out which one you're at. But you're pretty close. Still around level 57-ish? Yeah, because Vault unlocks at level 57. I can't remember. There's a point where I don't think it's a major spoiler to say this, but like once you get onto Ozzy's Law, like from that point on I remember, but the point where like after the vault but before you get to Ozzy's Law, I don't fully remember. I know you have to make like a device to get through, but I don't know. I don't remember that quest line. Anyways, we're here. Let's do some Great Ace Attorney. I believe we're on the last section of the case. I think we're on the last investigation and hopefully the last trial, I believe. And then we should be done episode 3 and we can move on to the next one, as is typical with an episodic structure and how that works. Let me just move this down slightly. I don't know why it was so high. Killed Bismarck, Priestman stole the key, we were trying to find somebody who can help us make a ram of Aether to attach to Sid's boat. Yes, okay, yeah. The etheric ram. Yeah, I forgot about Bismarck and the key and the whole deal with that. It's like Bismarck had a key in him or something, and then the Archbishop Thornton steals it. I think? Okay, I don't remember. It's been literally years since I played Heavensward. But anyways. What did it say? I clicked off, but I forgot that makes things go. Why funny most of these problems are named after myths, but Bismarck is named after a Nazi battleship? Yeah. I think I don't know how many of the name, because I know the early conventions are the truth, like Ifrit and Garuda especially are named after like gods. But I'm trying to think of like the later primals, and I don't know if that maintains itself or if they just start making up names. Because I don't know if Ravana is named after anything, because he was made for FF14, and the other ones are from earlier games. I don't remember. Anyways.
Oh, this room, it's been too long. It hasn't changed in the slightest, though. And it's been some 6 months, hasn't it? That's a long time for things to stay so familiar.
Oh, Ravana is Hindu? Oh, I didn't know that. Well, I guess, yeah, then they must all be named after something at the very least. I know there's ones later that are named after Japanese gods. I didn't know when you might return. I wanted everything to be as you'd left it. But it has been some 6 months, it's true.
So was your father all right, Susie? What happened? My father?
Yes, Professor Mikotoba. I mean, it was half a year ago, but that's why you went back to Japan. Because of the telegram you received saying he'd fallen ill with a very high fever for some unknown reason.
That's right. So I was surprised to learn you'd be coming back so soon. Surprised, but happy. He's dead. I think I wrote about it in my letter to you, that it was all a trick. My father is in fine health, and I am obviously very relieved about that.
Well, we're all delighted to have you back.
It was quite by accident that I've been able to return to Europe, actually. It's because of a very grand conference called the International Forensic Science Symposium.
The International Forensic... It's the same symposium Lord Strongheart mentioned.
Anyway, I've arrived safe and sound, and all that matters is that I'm here now. After all, I haven't yet fulfilled my promise to you, Iris.
Oh! You must tell us everything that happened while you were back in Japan.
Yes, of course, I shall. I took up a career of cross-dressing. It's a long story.
And there's one other thing. Something you wrote in your letter that particularly grabbed my attention. About you-know-who. About Cosmo.
I know. I'll tell you all that I can.
You're finally gonna learn what his deal is?
When I first arrived back in Japan, I really thought I'd never be allowed to return to Britain. But curiously, after that awful trial at the Supreme Court, Father's mood changed entirely.
The awful trial? Oh, yes. The murder of Giselle Brett. Also, Hilda, I think her name was, made my neurons activate. Oh, yeah, Hilda's great. It is a crying shame that she doesn't show up after Heavensward. But I kind of get it, because why would she? She is really cool, though. For the murder of Giselle Brett.
Oh, you dressed as a man then, didn't you, Susie? Oh, well, yes. Since women are forbidden in the courtroom, I had no choice. Wow, amazing. I wish I'd seen it. Don't you, Runo?
Yes, I suppose so.
I want to play being a lawyer now. I could wear a false mustache, maybe.
I don't think any mustache could hide the fact that you're just 10 years old, Iris. She's a hot badass with a gun, what's not to like? You're not wrong. There's something else I've been wanting to ask you, Mr. Sato. Why do you think I like Myrtle Whip so much? It's the same formula. It's about the real reason why Professor Mikotoba summoned you back to Japan. You said in your letter it was something to do with that convict's loot we found in Mr. Natsume's lodgings.
That's right. The very large dog collar we found with the bee emblem on it.
Is the B for Baskerville? It is the Hound of Baskerville, because it's a dog collar. Yeah, Myrtle Whip is my my in-game wife, and nobody can tell me otherwise.
It seems Mr. Natsume included a drawing of the collar in the report he submitted about his time in Britain. I understand that when Father saw the report, he turned as white as a sheet.
Why would that be then?
Father came to Britain himself, of course, to study. It was some time ago now, but he stayed for 6 years.
Unless we marry in-game. Oh, excuse me.
I can only imagine that something must have happened during that time. But if he refuses to tell me what it was, then I intend to find the answers for myself. And I've decided that I, for one, won't keep any more secrets. Oh, Susie.
That's a very meaningful look Susato-san's giving Iris there. Alright. Idea of marrying me sickened you so much you had to real... Oh, yeah. No, that's going to require therapy to get that thought out of my brain. Lord Strongheart mentioned something about that symposium, too. I think he said that investigative authorities from 40 different countries would attend.
Yes, and I'm from Japan. My father and Judge Jigoku have been invited.
Oh, and from Japan. I thought you said, and I'm from Japan. And I was like, yes. You are. Congratulations.
It's something of an honor, I believe.
Well, Professor Mikotoba is the leading expert in forensic medicine in our country, after all. But who's the other person you mentioned? A judge, did you say?
Yes, His Excellency, Judge Seishiro Jigoku. You've met him, Mr. Naruhodo. Last year, in the Supreme Court. You can't possibly have forgotten. That terrible trial of yours when you were accused of murder.
Ah, yes, I try to think of that as a positive turning point in my life these days. What was the judge's name? Seishiro Jigoku.
Well, it was Judge Jigoku who presided over that trial.
If I'm perfectly honest, I'd be happy to never see that man's face again in my life.
Oh, well, anyway, as father was invited to the symposium, he agreed to me returning to Britain, too. He won't actually arrive until next month, but, well, I couldn't wait.
Jigoku? Yes. His name is literally Judge Hell? That's awesome.
So I pleaded with him, and in the end he agreed to me going on ahead.
Yes, about the symposium. Seems as though Lord Strongheart has put in an awful lot of work to make it happen. Obviously very important.
I believe it is, yes. As I understand it, Lord Strongheart organized the entire event himself. I think he's hoping that by achieving exceptional results, he'll get the job of Attorney General.
The most senior position in the British justice system.
He's hoping to use his power to create the world's finest policing institution. That's what Father said anyway. Apparently it's Lord Strongheart's lifelong ambition.
Does Professor Mikotoba know Lord Strongheart personally then, I wonder? Actually, Lord Strongheart gave me a long speech all about this very subject only yesterday. But I sort of lost the will to live early on and didn't really listen to much of it. They had to coax me off of the chair a couple times and, you know, they kept trying to hide it and I kept finding it.
I'm trying for you.
Zale Brett. The woman whose unforgivable actions ended in me being wrongly accused of a crime I didn't commit. The murder of Dr. John H. Wilson. Yes, Giselle Brett. That's a name I won't forget for as long as I live.
The extraordinary thing is, though, it seems it's a name we should all forget.
Sorry? Who?
Since the incident, our government's intelligence services have been investigating Miss Brett. But it turns out that an Englishwoman by the name of Giselle Brett didn't actually exist.
Oh. This is a fucking, Well, I can't say what it reminds me of, because that would be a major spoiler for one of the other games. Didn't exist. But how can that be?
It was a pseudonym. Her real name was Shin. And she wasn't a visiting student either. That was a front.
Front? Who on earth was she then?
Miss A. Shin. Her name is literally all our intelligence services have been able to ascertain about her.
A. Shin. Okay.
Nobody knows why or even how she came to be in Japan. It's a complete mystery.
But that makes no sense. It's no easy task to be accepted as a foreign student anywhere. What could the woman have been up to?
I'm afraid I really don't know. The only thing we can be sure of is that she had some business in our country that we don't yet understand.
Asian? She's Asian? Oh, god damn it. That's why she had the mask the whole time. That's why we couldn't see her eyes. Otherwise, it would have given her away. Wow. Shit. That makes perfect sense. Right till the end, we never saw her eyes. And now she's been killed. While all the questions surrounding her existence remain unanswered.
I'm afraid so.
A. Shin. Who on earth was she? And why do I feel as though I've heard that name before somewhere? Oh shit, have I? Oh fuck. Shin. I don't remember anybody by the name of Shin. That'll come up later.
After my friend Ray's trial, the reporter who actually killed Miss Brett said something very strange.
I know the truth. I know you had a hand in what went on in that visiting student's fate. Nobody here in Japan knows anything about it. They don't know that the guy never made it to England, that he died on that steamship, and that he'll never...
Obviously, I couldn't ask him to elaborate at the time. But later, I visited the man in his prison cell and asked him what he was going to say about Kazuma-sama.
And what did you learn?
After he died on the voyage to Great Britain, his body should have been unladen at the port of Hong Kong and passed into the care of the consulate staff there.
Should have been.
Well, it turns out that his body never arrived. It just disappeared.
Don't fucking tell me his death actually was faked. Are you kidding me? That was a crackpot theory I had. Don't tell me that's actually who the masked guy is. Under Zeke's tutelage. Don't tell me that. Are you fucking kidding me? How? We were all there. Shelms was there. Like, we all saw him, his dead body. He was dead for hours. How is that possible? It's gonna come down to, like, some crazy poison, like, slowed his heart so much that it seemed like it had stopped. I bet you that's what it's gonna boil down to. There's no way nobody checked for a pulse and everyone just assumed he was dead because he was unconscious. I watched JoJo Part 3, right? I read the manga for it a long time ago. Like Romeo and Juliet. Oh yeah, fucking... Nobody just decided to check if they were alive. They were just like, oh, she's unconscious. Guess she must be dead. What a dumb play. Well, that's not a dumb play. It's a period of time. Summoned his stand to hold his heart so it didn't beat like Jotaro did at the end. Oh god, I don't remember that. That sounds like... I totally believe you, though. That sounds exactly like something that would happen in JoJo. I'm pretty sure stands touching people's hearts has happened a couple times. What? Kazuma's body vanished?
Our government tried to cover the fact up, it seems. They erected a grave on the cliffs by our hometown. Except, Kazuma-sama isn't there.
Did Professor Mikotoba know about this?
Yes, it would seem that he did. But he didn't tell me. They're still investigating what happened to Kazuma-sama's body as we speak.
I just don't believe it. And what is this acute feeling of apprehension I have all of a sudden? Thinking back now, some of the things that happened on the SS Buryo were definitely strange. I mean, after he died, we never saw his body again, did we? Is that true? Did we never see his body after we saw him dead the first time we woke up? His body was then moved immediately? Fuck, I think that might be the case. And Sholmes, I think, was the first one to arrive. Was Sholmes in on it? Was he the one who faked his death? Could it be? Could it be that he's actually still alive?
Stop it, Mr. Haruto. It's too much to bear.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
Just thinking about the possibility pains me. So very much. Cast your mind back for a moment, Mr. Naruhodo. When Kazuma-sama was discovered, Mr. Sholmes was there, wasn't he? And he definitely examined the body. I remember it clearly.
Yeah, fucking Sholmes is in on it. Motherfucker. He's been keeping a secret since the first game. There was the whole thing where it's like Ibris wasn't allowed to publish one of her books. He's cheating. You've been cheating on him this entire time, Yunosuke? Oh no. This love triangle is turning into a love pentagram. Ah, you're right. So if Kazuma hadn't actually been dead at all, it would mean that Mr. Sholmes had lied to us.
But there's no reason why he would possibly have done such a thing.
I suppose that's true, yes.
The idea that he might still be alive somewhere. It wants to fill me with hope, but I can't let it, because if it turned out not to be true, then I'd be back at the bottom of that awful pit of despair again. I'm terrified of what that might do to me.
Oh, Miss Susato. I know she's given the idea the thought it deserves. It's Susato-san we're talking about, after all. But I probably shouldn't push it now. Alright. Well, then I must have to present something? Hey, look, I'm a lawyer.
You're still taking good care of that armband, I see. I'm so pleased.
Well, yes, it feels like I wouldn't be me without it now, to be honest.
Oh dear, there seems to be a thread coming loose just there. Look. I'd only be too happy to mend it for you, Mr. Naruhodo.
Oh, thank you. I must have scraped it against something again. I'm always doing that.
Then take better care of it, please.
It's all going so well until I ruined it. Alright, that's not it. Great exhibition, maybe? There's nothing else to talk about, right? Yeah, no. Can I examine for something? Oh, probably to talk to Iris.
It must be about a year ago now. I wrote a really long story based on some of my father's old notes. It's about one of Hurley's greatest exploits. I called it The Hound of the...
Yep, Hound of the Baskervilles. Beyond the Dog Collar. Come on. Easy one.
The Hound of the Baskervilles.
But then Mr. Sholmes forbade you from publishing it. With the manuscript somewhere nobody could get their hands on it.
So nobody knows anything about it apart from Hurley and I. But for some reason, you knew the title of it, didn't you, Susie?
Does she know her dad fucking died? No, we've been lying to her for a while now. Several months, like half a year, about her father being 100% dead.
Oh, it sounds so exciting. The Hound of the Baskervilles. I should love to read it. And you wouldn't tell me how you'd come to know it. Yes, but I made you a promise that I would explain one day, didn't I? I think it's time. Oh!
Oh, here we go.
I'm only sorry I've had to keep it from you for so long, Iris. It was completely by accident that I came to know the title of your manuscript, Iris. It was a short while before we left Japan. I was cleaning Father's study and I saw something on his writing desk. A large box of papers. There was a label affixed to the box that was written in English. It read, The Hound of the Baskervilles.
Funny if you just casually dropped in conversation like, oh yeah, reminds me when your dad died.
What?
Sorry, hypothetical, crazy. Yeah, your dad's alive. I know him. We're good friends. We go to lunch when we were in Japan.
What? My Baskerville story? Of course, I had no idea what it was at the time. But Father came in, and...
Susato, what are you doing?
Oh, Father.
Did you look at those papers?
No, I simply read the label, that's all.
Well, put it out of your mind.
Sorry.
Forget that you ever saw it, and certainly don't tell anyone else about this. Do you understand? I forgot his voice. Fine. But what was Iris's manuscript doing in Japan?
I have no idea. But when I heard Iris mention the word Baskerville that day, the title just slipped out.
Thought I was gonna say,
Oh, fuck's sake! God damn it! I'm busy. Knock. What the hell? I would never have guessed. But it was an unpublished account of one of Mr. Sholmes' exploits. When I returned to Japan, I asked Father to explain, but he refused to answer any of my questions, and there was no sign of the big box in his office. That's really all I know about it. I've no doubt that Father has a very good reason for being so secretive about it, but still. I've made up my mind to explain myself, to both of you. Well, thank you for being so honest, Susie.
alright.
So, Mr. Naruhodo, I'm ready to start investigating if you are. I've committed every detail about the case to memory. And Iris has told me about the disturbing happenings at the Waxwork Museum as well.
So, you're fully abreast of the situation already, Mr. Sada. I'd expected nothing less, to be honest.
I would think our first port of call should be to investigate this Mr. Drebber, the engineer responsible for building the elaborate machine that was used to effect this extraordinary trick.
Yes, a conjurer of sorts by the sound of it, well known in the fields of science and magic.
Then we need to go and arrest him. And I'm gonna fucking powerbomb you through this table. Get ready!
Well, yes. I must know the truth behind this case, so I agree we really do need to find the man.
It sounds like it's a case of tracking someone down.
Goblin's noises make me uncomfortable. Oh, the, in FF14? Yeah. They're kind of like the Volus in Mass Effect. They're always doing those every time they have to breathe.
Which is the job for the police or a great detective?
You're supposed to guess who she might be thinking of. We don't have much time, so we need to get started straight away, I think.
Good idea. Well, best of luck then.
Oh, you're not coming today?
I'm going to Brixton Road shortly for the herb market. But let me know later how you got on, won't you?
That was a little abrupt. All of the herb market must be strong.
I'm gonna go get some fucking wicked kush. Like, you won't believe the strains they have over there. You can get properly fucked up.
We made the same joke at the same time. Let's see here. Oh, we can't go... Prosecutor's office, I see. Okay, I guess we just have to go everywhere? Cool. 23rd of October. The Great Exhibition Grounds, foot of the Crystal Tower. Still haven't fixed that window, huh? Oh! Susato, get the fuck out of the way. Vanish. There's something so much more important behind you.
I had no idea there were so many people in the world.
I know what you mean. It's really packed here today.
It feels as though it's taken us 2 hours just to make our way through the crowds to this point.
Has it? I shut my brain down, so I didn't really notice, to be honest.
Gosh, I do wish I had your absence of mind sometimes, Mr. Naruhodo.
Oh, this is, Gina.
There you are. I have a feeling you lot would show your mugs before long.
Oh, it's fucking Gregson. Oh, Inspector Gregson. I see you're hard at work as usual.
Warm greetings to you. I do hope you've been keeping well since the last we met.
That's well of the ceremony. We just saw each other in court this morning.
Not you, Sunshine. This gentlewoman so loyally at your side. Oh. Why, thank you, Inspector. How good of you to notice.
He might be a bit rough around the edges, but he's still a proper English gentleman at heart, I suppose. As you probably guessed, we were hoping to investigate the scene some more. Mainly the scene happening behind you. I need you to leave.
Right, well, that's the young trainee's domain. Oi, get over here, Gina.
Oh, he's so cute. He's so adorable. He kind of looks like my old dog. A lot darker color, though. It's like a terrier or some kind. He seems to be busy playing with a puppy. I'll be giving it a traditional East End training.
Gina? She's a police officer now? What the fuck? No, that's fucked up. That's not okay.
Still mad about how Raban doesn't get a cool-ass Magic arm? I know. Ever since you brought that up, I was like, fuck, that's a slam dunk. Why didn't they do it? I guess he was just too strong and they didn't want him to be, like, narratively able to take care of every problem. So they're just like, we gotta nerf this guy. Amazing, isn't it?
She's a good kid, actually. Her heart's in the right place, anyway. She's got the detection bug, if you ask me. Yep, I think she'll follow in my footsteps nicely.
What do you mean?
I'm being transferred. It's time for me to say toodaloo to London.
Oh no, really?
That's a bit sudden, isn't it? I had no idea. Where are you going to be posted then? We'll come to see how you're getting along.
Haha, not likely. But you're welcome to try. If you don't mind a trip to France, that is.
France?
I'll be working in the Paris Police Prefecture. She'll be right up my alley.
But France, it's an entirely different country. There's only two places in the world that exist. England and Japan. What do you mean there's other places? I've heard tales of this mythical place called Germany, but France? It's beyond the pale. This game's actually making me use chat. Oh yeah, every once in a while it's like, you have to say this thing out loud. And I was like, oh, alright. It's an entirely different country. I don't understand. Why would you be sent there?
That's the way the adult works, Sunshine. Now don't go poking your nose in where it's not wanted. I intend to take the kid with me when I go.
What? You're taking Gina to Paris? Well, I can't leave her here in London. Who knows what'd become of her? I suppose he's worried she'd slip back into slipping into her hands, into people's pockets and purses. Oh, it's Bob. How's it going, Bob? Let me give you a shout out. Bob, thank you for the raid. Welcome in. Hello, Scrolllock. Bob Schlombuggy. What were you up to? That didn't work? Oh, I have 2 H's in there by accident. Whoops. There we go. How's it going, Bob? Metroid Prime 2 Echoes. Ooh, I want to play the Metroid Prime series on stream at some point. I had the first on GameCube, but I never finished it because I was a kid and I didn't know what I was doing. And I've always wanted to go back to it. But oh, and I have to do this. There we go. Everybody go give a follow to Bob, a real cool streamer. A question before I forget, what's your favorite number? 4. Yeah. Let's go with 4. Oh, do I know if you followed? No. Fix that. Thank you for the raid. Real cool to a streamer. Thank you. Very much appreciate that. Welcome, Raiders. My name is Freelance. I play a bunch of games. A lot of variety stuff. But during the week we play video games, and then on Saturday we make Gunpla. I actually just finished my most recent project, which I would be happy to show to you if it wasn't so fragile that I cannot move it from where it currently is. So yeah, I can see it. It looks great. We finished the MG Full Armor Unicorn Verka. And yeah, it is extremely fragile because it is gigantic. But take my word on it, that is really cool. Mine is yours. Can you tell me so I can make sure? What, 4? I'm going with 4. But yeah, welcome in. Hope you enjoy. We're playing some Greatest Attorney 2, and we're on the end of episode 3, I believe. Did an MG Banshee Verka recently? Ooh, nice. I've heard that the Banshee Verka is not like super worth it over getting the regular Banshee. I saw a bunch of reviews like that where it's like it's not really different enough that it's worth getting. But I don't really know. I would like to build a Banshee at some point. I like the unicorn builds. I did find that the joints on the Full Armor Unicorn were very floppy. It was very loose, which was pretty unfortunate. I cannot pose it. It is currently just standing. Friend's parent got it for me for Christmas. Ooh, nice. We do have 2 new kits, actually, that we're going to be starting up this Saturday. Well, actually, I don't know which one we're going to start, because I think I want to take a break and do a high grade. We've been doing a lot of master grades. We just finished, I think it was the Perfect Strike we did last. I've been working on the Full Armor Unicorn for like 3 months, so I don't fully remember what I did before that. I think it was... Was it the Dual Gundam Assault Shroud, I think? I think that was the last thing we did. And then it was the MG Perfect Strike before that. And then the Blitz before that, which was also an MG. So we've been doing a lot of MG builds, and I think I want to mix it up and do something smaller for a bit. So yeah, I think I'm going to build the HG Galbaldi Rebake that I've had for years at this point. And then we're going to be choosing between the MG Buster Gundam and the MG Aegis Gundam. I have 3 MGs and an HG build. Nice, nice. I gotta build more HGs. I have a decent collection of HGs, but the most of the Gundams I have, I believe, are real grades. I think I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. How many high grades do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I guess I have the same amount of high grades that I do real grades. There's also the Digimon kits that I want to build as well. We have an Omnimon that we built that I really like. But yeah, lots of opportunities to build stuff. Anyways, Once again, thank you for the raid, Bob, and let's get back into it. RG Zazabi a few months ago, nice. I want to build the Master Grade version of this, the Zazabi and the Sinanju. But I think is there one for Master Grade? I think there is. Pretty sure there is. Get a machine Dramon so I know if I should buy one. Yeah, that's high on the list. I'll have to see what the Niji shop has in stock. You have an MG Verkasa Zabi. Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah, I do like that one. I thought about getting the MG Hainu Verka, but I was like, I'm not that crazy about the Hainu. I'm not looking forward to it. That's fair. All right. Let me just clear my Discord notifications real fast. And we'll get back into it. Alright. I suppose she, oh, I already read this. I'll read it again. I suppose he's worried she'd slip back into slipping her hands into people's pockets and purses.
I don't think he's worried about her pickpocketing, Mr. Naruhodo. I think he's worried about the Reaper.
Oh, of course. But that's playing on Inspector Gregson's mind too, is it? Anyway, I haven't mentioned any of this to Gina. So don't go blabbing, you hear me? No, of course not. I gotta keep that diving diva safe and sound. Until all this is over, at least. Oi! Did you just call me a bloomin' diving diva again? So you heard that, did you? Right, well, any questions about the scene, you can put them to my capable detective diva here. Goblin in a goblin tank? What the fuck? You bet, baby. The goblins are nuts. Alright, you are the boss. Inspector Lestrade's in charge here now. Suppose I better keep my word and not mention anything about Paris. So, Gina, you've got a new dog, have you? Please show it to me. Yes! Oh, yes! Oh, he's so good! Yes! Thank you for giving me an actual 3D model and a pose that I can get a closer look at him. Oh, he's so cute. He's got the same bandana that she does. Oh, I'm gonna cry. Isn't he great? Toby's a name.
Oh, how delightful. He's absolutely adorable.
Yes, the dog does seem lovely. But it's the not-so-lovely Inspector Gregson that's playing on my mind, to be honest. No, show me the dog. Don't get Gina off the screen. Just pan down, show me the fucking dog. I care about the dog. Tell me about the dog. Where did you find that little mutt then, Gina? Oi, don't be so flaming rude, Odo. Slight overreaction, don't you think? I ain't no mutt, alright. Toby's, how'd they put it? Was he a sniffer? Oh! It's too cute! My heart. Oh yeah, a bona fide detective. Sorry? I've given him a proper title and everything. It's Chief Inspector Toby to you. More senior than Inspector Gregson, is he?
Oh, so he's a police dog, is he?
The police recruit dogs now?
I've heard that they're already being used officially in Germany as part of their city policing. They're used for chasing criminals and such like. They have a wonderful sense of smell, after all.
I have a fairly good sense of smell myself, as it happens. I can tell undergarments that haven't been freshly laundered from undergarments that haven't. Maybe just don't talk, dude. What the fuck? Ha! That's nothing compared to this little fella, Odo. Oh, really? According to what the boss said, once Toby has got a good whiff of your drawers, he could trace the scent to the other side of the world. Oh, God, he's so good. He's so good. I love this dog. What? To the other side of the world? You mean he can swim?
Miss Naruhodo, I think you may have missed the point by rather a wide margin.
I just can't believe this little dog has such an incredible skill.
I'm telling you, Odo, there's gonna be more and more dogs doing their bit for police in the future.
Odo's so fucking dense, yeah, runs in the family.
Yes, I agree.
Right. One of these days, he'll be barking orders at us lot, not the other way around.
Oh dear. Sorry, Gina. I don't think I agree with your vision quite that much.
Well, anyway, whatever you think about that, Toby is Britain's finest, first police dog. I found him down the East End the other day. Someone just chucked him out on the street. Ah, kill them. Find them. And I want them dead.
There you go. I knew she'd lifted him from somewhere.
Oh, Gina, you're such a kind-hearted soul, aren't you? Do children into animals?
Alright, anyways, I guess we'll get back to the stupid game or whatever. Bullshit, doesn't matter.
Gina, we were actually hoping that we could investigate the scene again. Yeah, alright. If it's around here, you can do what you like.
Oh, that's alright, is it?
Yes. Always have the dog in frame. I'm going to be playing with my new friend here.
Ah, yes, Toby.
Speaks for himself.
The machine that exploded must be at the top of those stairs, I presume. I haven't actually seen it yet, so if you don't mind.
Sorry, you can't go up there, Suze.
Oh,
It's like I told Odo yesterday. Even I ain't allowed near that wreck. What's it called again? The reason we ain't supposed to touch it?
The Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act. Is that what you were thinking of?
That's the one. That's why only them lot are allowed to investigate it. What are they called again? The forensic something?
The Forensic Investigation Team. Is that what you were thinking of?
That's the one, yeah.
but isn't it the case that the special dispensation has been lifted?
I think so. I don't really get it, to be truthful with you. You're still supposed to get permission for some bigwig or other, as far as I know. What was his name again? Lord Strange something?
I'm not sure that's quite right, Gina. I think you mean Lord Strongheart, perhaps.
That's the one, yeah. Apparently he's always watching the time or something.
Without Lord Strongheart's express permission, we can't investigate on the stage. Okay, let's go through there next.
It was great, wasn't it? I had a right laugh. It was a new one on me, that. You know, being in court and not spending the whole time worrying about I'm about to be found out.
You did keep an awful lot of secrets in all your previous court appearances, didn't you?
Yeah, and others made things hard for me every single time and all. Just doing my job, Gina. Watching someone else get it in the neck is a lot of fun, actually. It was amazing when you showed that dodgy professor's dodgy experiment was a total fix.
The dodgy professor, as you put it, Gina, is Mr. Naruhodo's client.
Yes, I'm starting to wish he wasn't, though. Yeah, I wished he wasn't our client when he fucking admitted to the crime on the stand. That was pretty bad.
It's a boss I feel sorry for, set off to do the impossible.
What do you mean?
So it's great, but being a cat girl or cat boy is illegal. Well, clearly they're not enforcing that law because they're fucking infesting everywhere.
He's supposed to arrest the other cove, ain't he? And in time for tomorrow and all. You know, the dodgy old engineer. What's his name again?
Mr. Drebber, you mean? Henrik Drebber.
That's the one, yeah.
The police are looking for this mysterious man with the black monocle. I guess they would be. I'm also breaking the law, hell yeah. Hey, cab.
It's putting too much on the boss, if you ask me. He says it's giving him gut ache.
Oh dear, but I do wonder if that isn't actually from all the fried food.
Scotland Yard are trying to track down Mr. Henrik Drebber. I wonder if they've had any luck.
He's really funny looking. Got two eyes but don't match. Showed a glimpse of a picture of him earlier. I mean, I didn't actually pinch it or nothing. The old devil's got it.
Sorry, who?
You know, Satan. Lucifer. Yeah, you know, that scowling reaper what's always glugging down glasses of that blood-red plonk.
Ah, Lord Van Zeeks.
He's always had it in for me, that cove. Don't know what he's always scowling about, mine. Probably would have been a pretty good boss as it goes.
You'd rather be the Reaper's apprentice than a detective's trainee. The way I see it, if the choice is between a chip-guzzling detective and a chalice-glugging demigod, you're equally badly off with both.
I suppose you're right. I hadn't thought of that. Thought of it like that.
Have we put that one to bed?
Anyway, the point is, everyone at the yard's dead set on finding the fishy engineer. But there don't seem to be no clues to go on, so they're stuck.
There's nothing that can lead us to Drebber at all. Okay. Let's go ahead and move to... Oh, wait, before I go, I want to examine... Is this the old scrap that we already have in the evidence, or is this a new one?
Here's the scorching on the ground that you mentioned.
Yes, and there's what's left of the green balloon's envelope. All clear evidence of the balloon that exploded on the day of the incident.
Poor Professor Harebrained. I do feel sorry for him that his dreams have been shattered like this.
Someone's well and truly burst his bubble, as it were. Ha ha ha! Ha ha! Fuck that guy, I hate him. I hope he feels bad. Ouch, I'm a bad person. I just like, ouch, I'm a bad person. I get it. But you shouldn't feel bad. Fuck him. Oh, I can't go to the prosecutor's office. I guess I have to go to Strongheart first. Get permission to investigate. Oh, who the fuck is this? 23rd of October, British Supreme Court, Lord Chief Justice's office. This character looks like they're from the wrong game. Look like they're from Persona. Oh, who's that standing beside Lord Strongheart?
I wonder. I've never seen her before.
Ooh. He's a cutie. Ah, the young champion of the court. You had some success this morning, I understand. And you've thrown the entire government into disarray as a result. Oh, you mean because of Professor Harebrained's experiment? Sham science being demonstrated at London's Great Exhibition. The country's been made to look foolish, and now politicians are scrabbling to respond. Lord Van Zeeks is in Whitehall as we speak, giving an emergency briefing. Oh dear, I didn't mean to cause any trouble. None of this is your responsibility. The government is entirely to blame for having been taken in. Special dispensation that prevents the investigation at the scene will be annulled later today. Once that happens, my forensic investigation team will move in and deal with that scrap metal in no time. It's scrap metal now, is it? Who the hell are you?
Until later, Lord Strongheart.
Yes, thank you. I like her a lot. They've introduced a lot of cuties in this case. Who was that? Mommy? Sorry. Mommy? Sorry. Mommy? Sorry. That was Dr. Courtney Scythe? Courtney Scythe? Scythe? Like a Reaper's scythe? She the one responsible for killing everybody? That would make sense. That was Dr. Courtney Scythe, Scotland Yard's esteemed chief coroner. He's leading the forensic investigations team's handling of this case. He was just delivering a report about the victim, in fact. Oh, I see. How about Mr. Aspen? Gladly let my soul be reaped by her. Fucking same, bro. Following the outcome of the trial earlier, I asked the coroner's office to reevaluate its findings. I don't have time to tell you what she concluded. If you want to know, you'll have to ask her directly. You can find her in the forensics laboratory. Ah, right. Oh, I get to talk to her personally? Hell yes! Now, what were you here to see me about? I can give you 7 minutes and 39 seconds of my time. He's not running quite so spectacularly late anymore.
Please, sir, can I investigate? Thank you.
What exactly is the forensic investigation team that you mentioned before? I have one mood and that is down bad. Yeah, that's accurate. The British Empire's police force must become the most exemplary in the world. For that to happen, it's imperative that we embrace forensic science and everything it has to offer. I first created the forensic investigation team a year ago, now, unofficially of course, to pave the way.
Goodness, a year ago.
At next month's symposium, I intend to present the results of their work to the world. Once I do that, the House of Lords will be powerless to oppose the creation of a full-scale forensics division. And once that happens, the position of Attorney General will be mine, and criminals will suffer dearly.
What do you mean?
Too long, those scoundrels have made a mockery of our legal system with false evidence and bribes. But London's scum is about to be rounded up and burnt in the fires of hell.
Is Strongheart responsible for killing all the people? And not Zeke's?
Maybe it's a collaboration from both of them, because they both have the same, like, end. Courtney Scythe had, like, this little clock hand motif at the end of her pigtails, or her braid, I guess. And he has it on his little ascot here. So they might be in cahoots with that. I intend to see to it personally. By creating the finest police force the world has ever known, to protect our honor and our future. Where the fuck do those doves keep coming from? I keep getting the pest inspector, pest exterminator to clear them out. And what do I do? They always seem to come back. It's very annoying. My hair is not white like this naturally, and I'm not going to tell you why it is.
Look at those eyes. He means every word.
Dr. Scythe is an extremely reliable coroner. When I officially establish the forensics division at Scotland Yard, she will run it as my right-hand woman. Now then, speaking of the symposium, Miss Mikotoba.
Oh, yes, my lord.
Your father should be on the high seas as we speak, making his way here to represent the Empire of Japan.
Yes, that's right. I understand he will arrive at the beginning of next month.
Are you acquainted, Lord Strongheart? With Professor Mikotoba, I mean.
He's my ex. It was many years ago now, but yes, we had a fucking crazy time in college. Like, it's mostly a haze. The drugs really fucked up most of my memory. But the sex was amazing. I remember Dr. Mikotoba very well. That man can work a shaft like no one else. Sorry, I'm saying this in front of his daughter. That's a little odd. I cannot stress how great those orgies were. Like, it was mind-blowing. I came out of that a different person. If my memory serves, it was some 15 years ago now that your father came to Britain as a visiting student.
It was the year I was born. So yes, 16 years ago, in fact.
Mikotoba was a young practitioner of forensic science, and Jigoku accompanied him as a young, promising judge.
Oh boy, what the fuck does that mean? The punctiliousness? That's made up. That's not a real word.
The punctiliousness and politeness of the Japanese at the time impressed us greatly. And the fellatio. Not that I wish to imply impoliteness or carelessness on your part in any way.
I didn't think that you were.
Dr. Mikotoba studied forensics at one of London's large hospitals. St. Sinners, if I'm not mistaken.
Sinners? Really? So the woman named Scythe probably works at Sinners? Fucking called it.
Dr. Scythe was also there then, as it happens.
Then Dr. Scythe knows my father, does she?
He was a young medical assistant at the time, so I doubt their paths crossed regularly. But I have no doubt they knew each other superficially. After all, Dr. Mikotoba was here studying his subject for some 6 years in total.
6 years? That's a long time to be studying abroad, isn't it?
I lived with my grandmother in those years.
So he left his newly born daughter behind and went overseas for 6 whole years.
It was a rather turbulent time at home.
Oh.
Perhaps father wanted a reason to get away.
What do you mean? Why?
Well, it's just my mother was also very into orgies, and she's like, well, you know, my father was like, well, my orgies are with men, and yours are with women. It was just a fundamental difference in interest. Sort of created a rift in the relationship.
Well, clearly something was going on at the time. Okay.
I wanted to ask you about Lord Van Zeeks, actually. I heard that his older brother was killed some years ago by a mass murderer known as the Professor, who targeted nobles and royalty. Is that right? You Japanese are a thorough lot. You've done your research well. Yes. And you could say it was that very incident that gave rise to the Reaper.
What? Why?
When his brother, Clint Van Zeeks, was murdered. It was just after young Barrack had graduated from the University of London and become a prosecutor. When obvious criminals who managed to evade conviction in court started disappearing, rumors quickly spread throughout the capital. Londoners started to say that wherever Barrack Van Zeeks went, the ghost of his dead brother wasn't far behind.
Oh my word.
If you were a type of demon, what kind of demon would you be? I'm 99% sure I'd be an incubus. Yeah, 100%. I would make constant jokes about my incubus. Okay, that's decent. Because, like, incubus has, like, bus in the name, so, like, it fits better than most things that end with ussy. I don't really know enough about demons to really say what I would be. Find the laziest demon you can, and that's me.
Oh my word.
So, Lord Van Zeeks isn't the Reaper. It's the ghost of his brother. Ever since that time, he became a very aloof figure in London's legal circles. Oh yes, Lord Strongheart. Go ahead. It's about Professor Harebrain's experimental machine. We'd like your permission to examine the remains, if possible. Are you well versed in science, then? Not in the slightest. In fact, you could say I was barely aware of the subject at all recently. I mean, fuck, I can barely read. Sometimes I forget how to tie my shoes, and I fall down in the middle of the street and everybody laughs at me and I poop myself. What does that have to do with anything? Well, the special dispensation legally preventing the investigation of the machine is currently being annulled. Within a few hours, Dr. Thithe's team of forensic experts will begin their own investigation. But I suppose until then, there is no harm in you looking at the wreckage, as long as you touch nothing. Thank you. Being able to look at it is better than nothing. Excuse me.
And I'll be able to see it too.
Your time is up, and you've pissed yourself. You'll have to excuse me now, I'm afraid. My next engagement calls.
We are extremely sorry to have troubled you when you are so busy, my lord.
I have important matters to attend to in preparation for the symposium, you understand. Alright. Go check it out. As I can think of is Belphegor, who represents the sin of sloth. Oh, isn't that the one that's always sleeping? I know it vaguely from Digimon, which is... hurts to say. But Belphemon has two forms. It's got its sleeping mode and then it's like enraged mode. I feel like it's pretty good. I don't really have an enraged mode. But sleeping mode, that's me. All the time. Let's go check out... Oh, we can check out the forensics laboratory. Let's go back to the stage. We'll get everything done in time here. Experimentation stage. Excuse me, Gina. Oh, do I have to converse to get up there? Yes. Gina, you were actually hoping that we could investigate the scene again. Yeah, alright. If it's around here, you can do what you like. Oh, that's alright, is it? Yes. I'm gonna be playing with my new friend here. Ah, yes, Toby. I love him.
The machine that exploded must be at the top of those stairs, I presume. I haven't actually seen it yet, so if you don't mind.
Okay, yeah. This is the same stuff. I'm on. There it is.
Actually, we've just recently been to see Lord Strongheart.
Eh, you what? You met him? Last time the boss was told to go and see him. He waited for 3 hours at the Cove's office and came back sniveling.
Magic.
Well, Lord Strongheart has given us permission to examine the scene, as long as we touch nothing.
Oh yeah. Honestly. Alright then, go ahead.
But if it turns out you're lying, it'll be the boss who gets it and never eat another chipping again in his life. So, you're still saying all this is above board, are you?
I'm sure everything will be fine.
That really would be tragic. Alright then, hems the stairs. Off we go.
Oh, thank you, Gina.
Alright, so now I can investigate it, or examine it. These stairs lead up to the experimentation stage. Let's go and see what we can find out. (23rd of October). The Great Exhibition Rounds Experimentation Stage.
Oh my, so this is the machine that was used to deceive people into thinking instantaneous kinesis had taken place.
Yes, that's right. Or rather, it was the machine. A little worse for wear at the moment.
What extraordinary lengths Professor Harebrained went to in order to obtain the research grant.
No, the professor was strict as well. He didn't know anything about it.
Yes, of course. It is amazing, though, isn't it? The scale of the whole affair is so very British.
You're right about that. You'd never see such a grand deception in Japan, that's for sure.
Oh, look, is that
Oh! Hi!
Lord Van Zeeks?
So, I think we're more or less done here, aren't we? Shall we, Mr. Sato?
Already?
He is the Reaper, remember? We do well to keep our distance, I think.
But we have permission to be here, from the top. We're perfectly well allowed to investigate this machine, as long as we don't touch anything.
From the top? Do you mean Lord Strongheart?
Exactly. So we can stay here and stare at this wreckage for as long as we like.
We could have been at the center of the explosion here, and it wouldn't have been Benter's steel will.
Hi, Van Zeeks. Nice weather we're having.
Least approachable man in the world, winner. 10 years in a row.
Be strong, Mr. Naruhodo. Your country and your assistant stand firm behind you. And remember, you both have swords, so it's a fair fight.
Lord Van Zeeks. What?
Well...
Fuck, god damn it. I could be a writer for this game, I swear. I keep predicting the jokes. That's how it feels to be in the same room as a couple who just had an argument. Yeah. I thought I was making it quite clear that I didn't want to be disturbed. Apparently you Nipponese are unequipped to read the signs. Oh, I read them. So, what are you doing here? Entry to this area is prohibited. Ah, well the thing is...
Lord Chief Justice Strongheart granted us permission to investigate, on the condition that we didn't disturb anything.
And yet you've managed to disturb me.
Ah,
Never mind. State your business then. Come to think of it, there are quite a few things I'd like to ask Lord Van Zeeks about. Not least of which is that awful case, even though it's nothing to do with this.
Let's go in, Mr. Naruhodo. You won't know unless you try. Really focus on his dead brother until he fucking tries to kill you. That'll give you legal grounds to arrest him.
Fucking going right into it, huh? So,
your dead brother that I'm sure you loved and was killed by a mass murderer and whose ghost haunts you for every day for your entire life. That traumatic experience? Tell a guy you hate all about it.
was the name of your older brother, I understand, Lord Van Zeeks. You Nipponese always have to be on guard whenever you're around. So, you've been investigating me, have you?
Oh, no, it's not like that. Well,
Alright, it is a bit like that. My older brother was also a prosecutor. He was the pride of the Van Zeeks family. But tragically, a vicious killer took him from us.
the professor, you mean? Isn't... The only other professor I know of in this game is Dr. John H. Wilson.
Was he secretly a crazy murderer? Is that gonna be the big twist? That was why he was killed? This game's plot goes deep. Like, the mysteries they have in the back is nuts. Plot twist is Susato's dad. Maybe. Like, this game, the reason I like this game so much, and why it's like, if it's not like higher than Dual Destinies, it's like equivalent to, is like, I love the amount of mystery it has. Dual Destinies had a shit ton of mystery that like were overarching throughout all the cases, and they built up to it until they like resolved it in the end. And it seems like this game is doing the same, and I really like it. Is something funny? That's the extent of what you've discovered, is it? I shouldn't be surprised. Sorry? There's more to it then. Lackluster work is very much your trademark, isn't it? You're too kind. You're gonna tar all Nipponese with the same brush next time? So tell me, what's your interest in that historic incident?
As it happens, Lord Van Zieks, there's a rather curious case that's come to our attention.
This is, he got bodied in court for however many cases, yeah. We keep beating this guy and he's like, that one didn't count. Fucking, we're doubling down. Best 5 out of 7.
Are you aware of the Madame Tussauds Museum of Waxwork by any chance?
I am, naturally. I believe that since last month I feature in one of the displays there. Public scorn. Of course, the infamous Reaper of the Bailey would have to be exhibited, wouldn't it?
Well, a particular waxwork has been stolen from the place and held for ransom.
My brother had the controller for that case. He's actually been possessing me and controlling me this whole time. I could beat you, myself, if it's just I don't want to. A particular waxwork. Which, wait, you mean? Yes, it's the professor. Mr. Sholmes is investigating the case as we speak. I was unaware of that. He's turned as white as a sheet. What? The guy's by default Snow White. If he got any whiter, he'd be translucent. Alright. Are the police trying to locate the engineer, Mr. Drebber, already? Surely that goes without saying. We're very keen to see him found as well. Trouble is, we don't have much to go on aside from the description of the man we heard in court earlier.
Which, according to Professor Harebrain, is of a tall, thin gentleman who has straight white hair and wears a black monocle.
So, I was just wondering. I mean, I realized probably not possible, but,
We'd very much appreciate any more clues you can give us.
You have to raid a library. I know exactly what dungeon you're talking about, and it's a good one. It's got good music. Wow, Susato-san really knows how to take the bull by the horns. Oh, something I wanted to ask you, since now that you've done the vault, I was curious about your opinion of, do you think that the vault was a noticeable increase in, like, the quality of the dungeons in the game? Like, do you think it was, like, noticeable that, like, oh, they really improved, like, the gameplay and, like, the visuals, especially, of the dungeons? Was it notable to you? Was it noticeable, or did you, or was that... Yeah? Okay, yeah. Because I was the same when I was playing through, and I was like, fuck, they really stepped it up for this. And it, like, it kind of continues from beyond the vault of, like, that level of quality just goes up. So I was wondering if you had the same experience. Wow, Susato-san really knows how to take the bull by the horns. Fine. Why not? I have a photograph of the man here from an investigation 10 years ago. Oh, he's also a very handsome man. What is it with this case in introducing a bunch of super attractive people? What happened? Though it appears he already had that black monocle at the time. Didn't, somebody said that he had 2 different eyes. I wonder if that's gonna come up like he has an identical twin, and that's the only way you can tell them apart. What? Oh, no, nothing. I was just surprised that you shared that with us. Guys, they made it halfway through the game. We're gonna keep them hooked, just make sure everyone is hot. You know, it's not the worst strategy. We all need the man's testimony in court tomorrow, which means we have to do everything we possibly can to track him down in the short time available. So why wouldn't I show you the photograph? Oh, because you're an asshole? What is it about Lord Van Zeeks? Sometimes I just can't work him out at all. Okay. No? Probably show that to people and be like, have you seen this man? Oh! There he is. It's the boy. The bottom of his face really does remind me of Kazuma. But it's not a lot to go on. Ah, the file it requested for the trial tomorrow. Thank you. Are you alright?
Who is this man, Mr. Nodohodo?
Lord Van Zeek's apprentice, apparently. So I'm not the only one. Usato-san can see it too.
Lord Van Zeeks? May we speak with your apprentice for a moment?
With him? Why?
Fucking I knew it!
Kazuma-sama!
Kazuma. I don't believe it.
Your posture, your presence. It can only be. It's you, isn't it, Kazuma-sama?
I felt something strange the very first time I encountered this cloaked figure. As if I knew him somehow. Can it really be you, Kazuma? Oh, fucker. Wait! Too late. What's going on here? I don't know if it's him. I still think it's some sort of relative to him. It seems like him being Kazuma is too easy. It seems like it's gonna be a red herring. But fuck, maybe. I don't know. What is your interest in my apprentice exactly? Actually, Edgeworth time traveling? Now that's the real sideswipe. You act as if you know the man or something. Well,
Since when has he been in your care? I don't recall you having an apprentice before I left Britain 6 months ago.
Lord Strongheart introduced him to me about 3 months ago now, with instructions to mentor him as a prosecutor. But he didn't tell you why, did he? Oh, that's Ryunosuke, but he didn't tell you why, did he? The man appears to be suffering from amnesia. He's forgotten every last detail about himself. Ah!
He has amnesia?
Tomorrow he will appear in court at my side. What? He's to serve as my judicial assistant, on Lord Strongheart's orders. He'll be in court with us. Now then, unless I'm much mistaken, I believe this conversation has run its course. Oh, yes, thank you. So many mysteries. I definitely saw a reaction there. When Susato-san called out like that, it really seemed to hit a nerve. When she called out Kazuma-sama. Fascinating. Alright, well, let's take a look around.
What a terrible explosion it must have been. Even the steel girders have buckled and twisted in the blast.
And what they called the birdcage was right in the middle of it all, just here.
But look, Miss Nodohodo, that metal grill on the floor. Looks as though it's designed to open.
It does, doesn't it? If the floor had opened at the precise moment the explosion occurred, The birdcage could have dropped through and disappeared from sight.
I don't think there's any doubt that this was a very elaborate hoax, is there?
Okay. The levers.
Oh, isn't it exhilarating? All this different architecture from all the corners of the world.
Well, that's not what I went to investigate, but okay. This make you feel a bit like an explorer, doesn't it? I know it's all subjective, but the onion-shaped roofs have rather caught my attention personally.
It is very subjective, isn't it?
Japanese buildings with their wood and paper construction have excellent ventilation. I've realized that British buildings, being made from brick and stone, are very strong and long-lasting. The more you know about how things are done in other countries, the more you understand your own, I feel. I feel like I'm not even half done with Heavensward yet. I mean, you're close to the end of the base expansion, but you have all the patch content to go through still. But generally speaking, the quest levels are a good indication of where you are in the base game. Or base, expansion.
Oh yes, I do agree with you there.
But I can't help wondering what an onion does for the roof of a building. I mean, I suppose it's playing on my mind because I don't like the taste of onions.
You really oughtn't let your taste in vegetables dictate your taste in roofs, Mr. Naruhodo.
Yeah, you're almost done with the base expansion. You can also tell based on how many areas you've unlocked. Because there's only 6 areas in each expansion. So once you hit the last area, then you're close to the end. Okay, here's the birdcage here. This wasn't here yesterday.
Really? But if I'm not mistaken, it's the cage in which the victim was standing before he was apparently beamed through the air.
That's right, the birdcage. According to what Professor Harebrain said in court, it's made of wood.
Or more precisely, Japanese cypress, I think. And despite having been in an explosion and then falling from a great height, it's relatively unharmed. What wonderfully durable construction, wouldn't you say, Mr. Naruhodo?
I'd understood that the forensic investigation team had taken it away yesterday to examine it. I suppose they must have brought it back here when they'd finished their work.
But sadly, not with the body inside it.
No, that's right. I know we were given strict instructions not to touch anything, but still. This is too important a piece of evidence to overlook. We might need it for the trial. Okay. Okay, so that was the thing we needed.
You'd already met that masked man, hadn't you, Mr. Naruhodo?
Yes, yesterday in fact. At Lord Van Zeek's office.
I see. And if Kazuma-sama really is still alive, it means that Mr. Sholmes lied to us.
I know. I'm going to need to speak to him about that. We're going to have to leave now. The forensic investigation team are due to arrive shortly. If they find you here, it will cause problems. What sort of problems? Foreign affairs problems. Well, we could do without that. Alright, we'll be on our way. Let's go, Mrs. Sato.
Of course.
Alright, let's go to... Let's go to spells. I kind of want to save the laboratory for last. 23rd of October, Madame Tuspells.
Oh my, no wonder it's called the House of Horrors. I'd like to turn on my heels and go straight home. Be the confectionery.
Being scared makes you crave sweets. I can understand that.
I was looking forward to a reunion after 6 months away, but... there's no sign of Mr. Sholmes anywhere.
That's strange. You should be here investigating the abduction of the waxwork. Oh well, I suppose we'll just have to come back again later. Okay, well, I guess he's not here. We also haven't gone to the prison. Okay, let's do the prison. Just in case. Oh, boy. Who the fuck gave you chalk? 23rd of October, local prison, cell 11. What's you doing?
Oh my, the whole wall of the cell is covered in mathematical equations. and yet not a single fucking number to be found.
And he's still running more now. Professor, sorry to interrupt. Oh, Mr. Naruhodo. Hi, and who's this, you young lady?
My name is Usato Mikotaba. I'm Mr. Naruhodo's judicial assistant. It's a pleasure to meet you, Professor.
Oh, if only I'd met a refined young woman like you sooner. None of this would have happened. If only I'd been late in college, I would have been such a fucking square. No, that's not logical. That makes no sense at all.
Oh dear, I'm sorry if my presence here upsets you.
I owe you an apology too, Professor. I didn't manage to deliver what I promised you I would in the court this morning. Oh no. The whole thing, the whole miserable affair. It all happened because I'd been such a complete and utter clot.
Professor Harebrained, what the fuck have you been working on in your cell?
Oh, you mean that? Oh dear, how embarrassing. I was suddenly struck by an idea, you see, and I simply had to write it down. The wall was all I had to hand. Oh, is it some new hypothesis? Something to surpass super high voltage instantaneous kinesis, maybe? No, actually, it's my autobiography.
Your autobiography?
How I Was Diddled and Fiddled by Albert Harebrained. Whew, yeah, you maybe want to workshop that title. That's, yeah. Yeah, no, that's probably not a good one. You might want to rethink that one. I found I could present my odd fortunes with only odd numbers in an ambitious set of simultaneous equations.
Really?
I'm going to have to pay back all the loans I took for this kinesis machine, you see. There's going to be a new serial publication for the next month. Part 1, an odd birth, an odd upbringing. Can't beat the man's optimism, that's for sure. I see. Well, for now, would you mind if we talked a little more about the case? Oh, yes, of course. I've been working through the numbers. I was diddled, I was fiddled, by the pair of them. By Asmon, and by that aloof engineer Drebber. We're going to have to sit through an explanation of all these equations, aren't we? Fucking diddled and fiddled? Come on, man. Everything I believed in has been turned on its head. My research, Mr. Asmon, the kinesis machine, my hypothesis even. I'm sorry it's come to this. There was really no other way. No, it's not your fault. I wanted to protect my work, but in the end, there was nothing worth protecting. It was never my intention to deceive anyone. I didn't want to trick the public.
No, of course you didn't.
But in court this morning, I realized something. Oh? I realized I'd been fucked right up the ass. If you've done something wrong without knowing it, you've still done something wrong. Logically, it makes no difference if you're aware of it or not. Ignorance is a poor excuse. The blame still lies with me.
Oh, Professor.
He believed in me this morning, you know. Barak did. He believed in my hypothesis. Well, I think that was just a necessary factor in the prosecution establishing its case. No, Barak wouldn't do something like that. I'm sure he genuinely believed it. Did he? I think I understand now. Why it was that he decided to take on the prosecution in my trial, I mean. Okay. After the terrible accident happened, nobody would believe in my hypothesis anymore. Not the police, not the prosecution service, not any lawyers even. I feel like I dealt with some kind of finishing blow there. So if any other prosecutor had taken the case, if it was anyone other than Barak, I'm sure the prosecution would have declared my hypothesis a complete and utter nonsense.
And in that case, you would have been declared a fraud yourself, Professor.
Exactly, which would have been a fate worse than death for me. But Barak insisted that I was a proper man of science from start to finish. You think that's why he... I know him very well indeed. He's an extremely kind-hearted soul.
But that extremely kind-hearted soul spent all morning trying to paint you as a murderer, didn't he?
Well, admittedly, that part of the analysis appears to have some flaws in it.
And what about the whole Reaper side of things? How does that fit in with the kind-hearted soul idea?
Do you think he set out to trick me from the very start?
I'm sorry to say, that does seem likely, yes.
When I first met him, he introduced himself as a wealthy financier. He looked over the paper I'd written and said my work would benefit all humanity and must be pursued. He was so enthused. He was so empathetic.
In reality, he was the mastermind of some vast criminal network, it seems.
I still can't believe it.
As the machine was essentially a set decoration for some stage magic. It probably didn't require a large amount of investment, actually.
The scale of it wasn't just some small trick. It was a very elaborate feat of deception.
All young scientists are full of hope about their burgeoning ideas, full of zeal. But none of us have any money. We want to do research, but we can't afford it. Many of us take on barely legal part-time work to try and earn just a few measly pennies to carry on. Go through all that, only to be taken for a complete fool. It's too hard to believe.
It is, I agree. And that's why we have to find those responsible and bring them to justice. Mr. Asman is no more, of course, which leaves only the engineer.
Mr. Attic Drebber.
Is he an engineer, or a magician, or a swindler?
It was about a year ago when Mr. Asman first brought Drebber to me at my laboratory. Since then, I've met him many times to discuss details about the Kinesis machine.
But at no point did you have any inkling that he was just an illusionist.
Oh, he definitely wasn't just an illusionist.
What do you mean?
He was a wealth of deep scientific knowledge. There's no question that the man's a genuine scientist. It's instantly apparent in conversation.
I see.
But the wretched man deceived you, Professor. It's unforgivable. We must do everything we can to find him and bring him to justice. Are there no more clues you can give us to his whereabouts?
I'm sorry. We only ever discussed the Kinesis machine. Nothing else. Although, just once, I did visit his workshop.
What workshop?
Drebber's enormous fabrication laboratory, where he constructed my great machine.
Why didn't you mention this before?
Attic Drebber's workshop? There's every chance we might find the man there.
So you've been to Drebber's place of work, then?
Yes, just once, you understand. It was an enormous place. Plenty of room to construct the Kinesis machine, you see. Where can we find it? We have to go there at once.
There's a good chance that we'll find Drebber there.
Well, yes, definitely. I'm sure. As in, I'm sure you're not going to want to hear this. But I have absolutely no idea where the workshop is at all. I'm so sorry.
I was more than half expecting that.
You see, I was blindfolded in the carriage the entire way there.
He blindfolded you? He wasn't taking any chances then.
The place was incredible. The pinnacle of modern engineering. Even the oil he used was the very best. A special French machine oil that's impossible to obtain in Britain. Ah, the indescribable scent of that imported oil. Perfumers across the world should forget their secret formula and use that instead.
What do you think, Mr. Sato? Eau de machine for your next birthday?
I've never used any kind of perfume, Mr. Naruhodo, and I'm not sure I'd like to start with that. I don't suppose you know even part of the workshop's address, Professor. You don't have a business card for Mr. Drebber, for example?
Man was clearly very cautious, Mr. Sato. I'm sure he would never have...
Ah! Yes, I do. He gave me his business card once. It's right here. Look.
What?
Let me see that.
Throw etiquette to the wind, why don't you?
Attic Drebber, engineer. I'm afraid that's all it says. There's no address.
No. Oh well, I can't say I'm surprised. Still, this could be useful. Take a closer look at that. Okay. Let me check the court record. Arm's falling asleep. Aha! There had to be something on the back. This dark smudge here.
I think perhaps it's machine oil.
We're gonna get the dog to smell the oil and he's gonna lead us there. Yes! Yes! I love that. Ah, yes, possibly. Professor Harebrained mentioned something about the oil Mr. Drebber uses, didn't he? He said it was specially imported, very high quality oil that's impossible to obtain in Britain.
Yes, that's right. But more importantly, that it's more fragrant than the finest perfume. So, excuse me for a moment. Oh, God. Oh, that's good. Oh, it doesn't appear to have any scent at all. None at all. I'm gonna take this.
Don't worry, I expect that's just because there's such a tiny amount on here.
Yeah, nothing there. Oh, God. Oh! Holy fuck. Oh, shit. Fuck. Where are we going?
Let's check out the dog. I need you to give me your dog immediately. And be the pup. About this, Gina. Yeah, I'm still learning my letters at the moment. I only know A to E, so if it ain't too much bleeding trouble.
Actually, Gina, it's the back of the card that's important.
Eh? How come? It's just a dirty old smudge on the back, that's all.
It turns out that this is very high quality French machine oil. It has a very particular scent, apparently.
You don't say. Let's have a whiff of it then. Oh my god, fuck. You sure? I don't smell nothing at all. Oh god, I need to sit down. Oh fuck. No, we didn't mean that you should smell it. Oh right, you mean Toby. Sense of smell is so good he can track people over the oceans, can he?
Professor Harebrained informs us that this oil is unique to Mr. Drebber's workshop.
Oh, look at him sniff. Look at his widow sniffer. Ah!
I think he's picked up a scent. So you mean if he follows the scent of this oil, Toby could lead us to that dodgy cove's workshop?
That's right. That's exactly what we were hoping. Hopefully the dog's not too high after that. Ooh, boy. I'm fucking... I need a nap.
Right then, we'll give it a go. I'll just boil that. What? Wait, what did you... It's a pickpocket. If I can lead everyone to that Drebber's workshop, I'll be your boss's boss before next week.
Oh, yes, Gina. I'm sure you'll be promoted.
Poor Gregson. Right then, Netto, leave it to me. Sorry? We're gonna get going after that dodgy engineer code right this minute. Oh, but hang on. Something's supposed to be on guard duty all the time. I'm afraid we can't help. We need to get on with our investigation as well, Gina. Oh, right. Oh well, never mind. Ain't gonna be me what gets it in the neck. It'll be the boss. Poor Gregson again. Right, Toby? Got that oil scent, have you? Come on then, boy. See you later. It's French oil and her detective... Oh, her and detective should go to Paris. That's right. The French connection. Interesting.
I do hope that the scent of oil then leads them to that swindler's workshop.
Yes, I hope so too. Ideally before the dog swims across the channel to France. Alright, I guess there's nothing more we can do here. I guess we'll do the forensics laboratory now. Ooh. Spooky. 23rd of October, a forensics laboratory. I believe this is it. Dr. Sai's laboratory. That chemical smell really assaults the nose. And there's plenty to assault the eyes in here, too.
It looks as though the doctor isn't here. But we're here now, so we may as well do some sightseeing, don't you think?
What a seasoned tourist you've become, Miss Usada. You Just have a little look around, being careful not to upset any restless souls. Interesting. What's in the box? Nothing's in the box. What's on the book? Look at this big, thick book here. You know what else is big and thick? Nothing I know about.
It appears to be an accounting ledger. It's a record of the forensic investigation team's spending, I think. Oh?
What is it?
It's clear that the team purchases various equipment and supplies on a monthly basis, but...
Your dick? Hey! No. No.
Well, one entry seems rather strange.
Really? In what way? Your dick.
They're buying 500 scalpels every month.
Like 500? You must be working really hard on dissecting corpses.
I don't know. Judicial autopsies are only carried out in certain special circumstances. And scalpel blades can be sharpened, too.
It does seem a bit strange. You're right. 500 scalpels a month. What could they possibly be using all of them for? What are you doing? I fucking slipped into a French accent. Ah! Sorry, oh, she's got a fucking snake bracelet too? Jesus, your drip is impeccable, man. Sorry, we had something we wanted to ask you, but you weren't here, so.
So you thought you'd snoop around. That's acceptable to you people from the East, is it? Well, what do you want?
Lord Strongheart told us, you see. That it was you who examined the victim's body. Mr. Asmon's body, I mean.
So we came to ask you about your findings, on Lord Strongheart's advice.
Very well. If the Lord Chief Justice has given his consent, I'll tell you what your investigation has revealed. But when we're done, you must leave immediately.
Frosty. She's as pale as, Zeke's is, and I think she's got the same hair color. They might be related.
So you want to know what the forensic investigation team determined from its examination of the scene? The victim, Mr. Odie Asmon, who disappeared from the experimentation stage amid an explosion, and the Mr. Asmon who appeared moments later partway up the Crystal Tower, are without question one and the same person. That is the team's conclusion. But that can't be right! If it was an elaborate trick, we can only speculate about how it was carried out.
Let's see, if two people who looked very similar to each other were involved, they could have made it appear as if one single person had switched places, couldn't they?
Very true, but sadly in this instance, that was not the case. The man who disappeared and the man who subsequently reappeared was the same person. The fingerprints at the scene make that quite evident. Ah, fingerprints. They're not yet officially recognized as forensic evidence in the British justice system, but one day, they will be used as an investigative aid as a matter of course.
Oh my, but that would mean that the instantaneous kinesis actually took place. So, where does that leave us?
My team was tasked with investigating, not drawing conclusions. Instantaneous kinesis is impossible, yet the body did move from one place to the other. This hasn't cleared up anything at all. Or cleared anything up at all. It's made the whole thing even more of a mystery. Alright, good talk. Apparently that's all we... Okay... Oh, she has a daughter? Dude, sick mask. Mama, what is this? Ah, where did she spring from? And did she just call the doctor Mama? This is a lawyer, dear. Oh. Hello. Meet you? Pleased to meet you. She is Mommy, canonically. Oh, alright, I said something.
Mama,
Yes?
can I cut this one up?
What? Oh boy.
I've never seen inside an Eastern person before, and I want to know what it looks like.
Of course you can't. It's a live specimen, as you can very well see.
Boring.
I think I just shit myself. I just had a near-death experience.
Oh dear, Mr. Nodohardo, you're as pale as a corpse.
And let's leave before I'm mistaken for one. Well, I think we've done all the investigating we can here for now. We can just determine the whereabouts of Mr. Drebber.
I'm sure Gina and little Toby won't let us down. Now then, you think we ought to try to speak with Mr. Sholmes at this point? We have things to discuss, and I'm dying to meet him again after all these months.
Yes, it's quite possible he might know something useful, you're right. We ought to find him at Madame Tuspel's. He's supposed to be working there as a temporary waxwork exhibit.
Yes, Iris told me all about his latest unusual venture.
I'll be back, I promise. Oh, I'm sweating. God, I got fucking hot and humid again. 23rd of October, Madame Tuspel's Museum of Waxworks.
Here we are again at the House of Horrors. I'm afraid I haven't got used to the place yet. I still like to turn on my heels and go straight home, via the confectionery, of course.
She makes me hot and humid too. Hey! Usada-san really is after something sweet today, isn't she?
Eek!
What's the matter?
Look, Miss Naruhodo, look at that waxwork. I'm quite sure it wasn't there before. God, it's fucking hideous. Why would anyone subject the public to this fucking monstrosity? God, it makes me angry. I could kill it. I could kill it myself. It looks exactly like Mr. Sholmes down to the very last detail.
Aha!
What is it?
Oh, sorry. I think you'll find. That's the temporary waxwork himself. Ah, she's back. Ah, the friend of my dedicated employee. Ah, yes, hello again. It's Ryunosuke Naruhodo. I must say I'm quite spellbound by the great detective. He is a marvel. It's not actually him this time, I bet. My precious waxwork is already back where it belongs. You don't mean. But yes, the mystery is solved already. Wow, Mr. Sholmes can really engage his brain when he's hungry enough. So as you can see, he has returned to his habitual duties. Yes.
His habitual duties?
Hey, you said duty? Alors, do not disturb, huh? Poor Susato-san, she looks very perplexed. Well, we gotta talk to the guy, so...
Wake up! I really do need to speak with Mr. Sholmes, and I am longing to say hello again. But where is he?
I think you might find that he's quite nearby, actually.
Oh! What are you...
Indeed, my dear fellows, it is I! The world-famous great detective in waxwork, Herlock Sholmes! Susato-san! Susato-san! Fucking passed right out. My most humble apologies.
I thought I'd died and gone to eternal paradise for a moment, via London.
The worst way to go to eternal paradise. The shithole that is London. Why, dear madam, allow me to make amends by offering you a tasty free deduction at some point. As long as it's not questionable street food quality.
I don't understand. Why are you working as a waxwork here, Mr. Sholmes?
Merely a secret identity, you understand, though the case is largely solved now.
Largely solved?
We're talking about the waxwork abduction, I presume. Indeed we are, my good fellow. As I predicted, it was as easy as proverbial pie. Though I confess I'm yet to partake of a pie, proverbial or otherwise, or any food so far today for that matter. Rumble, rumble, rumble. That stomach rumble echoed around the whole museum.
How did you manage to solve it so quickly?
Ah, well, do you remember I said it was largely solved? Or do you remember I said it was largely solved? Anyway, I simply negotiated with the culprit. Are you familiar with the so-called telephone?
Welcome, Toaster. Fuck, shit, did I make it? We're still streaming, so yes. How's it going? How's your night?
Oh yes, it's a most modern invention, allowing you to hold a conversation with people far away.
I gotta sit like this. My back is sweaty.
In Japan, only the imperial capital and a handful of other cities are connected as of yet.
This morning, a telephone call was received here from the perpetrator of the abduction. As such, I was able to negotiate terms, and in the end, the waxwork was returned.
That's amazing.
Just between you and I, it would appear the culprit had always intended to return the stolen waxwork in any event.
I desire a muffin. I have a chocolate muffin. We have chocolate chip muffins. And it's been so hot here that the chocolate is melting. So, yeah. When I get the complete edition, I don't think I'm going to redesign my Warrior of Light to a bunny boy. They're too tall. They are pretty tall. The Viera or the female Viera are even taller. The jumbo carrot nut muffins are really good. Ooh, that does sound good.
Oh, but I thought whoever was responsible had demanded a ransom, no?
Yes, I think perhaps the ransom demand was necessary to avoid unwanted suspicion regarding the true motive.
But does that not mean your negotiating was entirely unnecessary?
I can't relate to tall people. Hey, I'm playing the shortest race possible, so, you know. I'm with you there.
A fact that I must ask you to keep from Madame Tuspel's at all costs.
Bought an SSD yesterday, it works? Nice.
A hungry young Iris awaits my return to Baker Street after all.
Poor Iris.
Now then, do I sense that you have some business with this great waxwork?
We do. We're in the process of trying to track somebody down.
Oh?
Yes, a man by the name of Anik Drebber. He's the swindler who duped Professor Hairbrain and the engineer who built the kinesis machine.
A swindler and an engineer. Quite the modern man.
Recently I did remeasure myself in hopes if I somehow got taller. Yeah, how'd that go? He also seems to be a conjurer of sorts, with considerable knowledge of stage magic. We need to locate him before the trial resumes tomorrow morning. We have so few clues to go on, that's the trouble. Do you have any good ideas? I'm still 5'1", I'm so sad. I am 5'9", and not getting any taller, that's for sure. I did also think that you might have shrunk, that would have been hilarious.
I have no data yet. It is a capital mistake to have good ideas before one has data. If I knew something of the man's appearance, at least, I may be in a better position to help.
Yes, Drebber's appearance.
Fortunately for you, however, presently I have little to occupy myself and little to fill my stomach. As soon as you find any clue, no matter how small, I shall gladly give you my thoughts on it.
Alright, well. Happen to have a fucking picture, so that's an easy one. Tiny, I don't have a tomboy to use me as an armrest. Life is pain. I feel your pain. No tomboy GF. What's even the point? Mr. Sholmes, would you cast your eyes over this photographic print? Every time I do, it makes me guffaw.
It's of Mr. Anik Drebber, the face of the engineer we seek.
Well, all Englishmen look broadly the same, of course.
I just want tits. Fair. They're pretty great. Mine or otherwise.
So looking at the photograph would be particularly instructive.
Are you alright, Mr. Sholmes? It's the most straight I've felt in a long time.
Ah, yes, forgive me. Very interesting this. Very interesting indeed.
What's wrong, Mr. Sholmes? You've turned quite pale all of a sudden.
Okay. I didn't apparently unlock anything. Weird. Mr. Sholmes, did you lie to us?
My dear Mr. Naruto, stay that piercing stare. What is this about?
Last winter, when we were first on our way to Britain aboard the steamship. Your words were very clear.
So then, let us unravel this mystery and discover what events led to this curious murder.
I haven't even done my cute boy ramble today. It's mainly simping over Y'shtola mommy. It's because I ignored the TikTok you sent me.
You told us that it was murder, and you examined Kazuma-sama's body.
Indeed, and wherein lies the problem?
We met him earlier today. The victim, Kazuma Asogi.
You're quite sure?
He was wearing some sort of mask and was apparently suffering from amnesia. But yes, I'm quite sure. It was Kazuma-sama.
I knew I recognized that fucking chin.
You must have known at the time, Mr. Sholmes, that he wasn't actually dead.
They're all vines and TikToks to me. The video format of the internet, the popular video format of the internet is kind of blended into the same thing, with different names.
Well, I can only assume I was swept up in the murderous atmosphere of the moment.
How the hell did you call that? It was a chin under a mask? Well, to be fair, I had the fucking massive hint of Ryunosuke saying that he looked familiar. And I was like, okay, well, there's only so many people that have already been in the game that that chin would fit on. Had I not had that, yeah, probably would have been a much less confident guess.
But the fellow wasn't dead at all. Ha 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 ha! Priceless! I don't suppose that performance would pass muster, would it, Miss Naruhodo?
I could believe that the crewman present at the time made a mistake. But not you, Mr. Sholmes.
I will now tell you something of the first importance, my dear fellow. Great detectives are wont to lie. It will serve you well to remember that.
Please, Mr. Sholmes.
Tomorrow in court, you will find yourself on the threshold of a very great mystery. For now, I'm afraid that is all I can say.
Ryunosuke has too much faith in his boyfriend. Yeah, and his boyfriend literally just admitted to him that he lies frequently. This is not a good relationship. This is very toxic.
I have a suggestion for Mr. Naruhodo. Will you indulge me?
Oh, well, what is it?
As I explained to you when you arrived, the missing waxwork has been returned, and I personally reinstalled it in the exhibit from which it was taken, behind those thick curtains.
Oh yes, the professor exhibit, isn't it?
Would you like to see it for a mere 5 shillings? That's a special, one-time only price, you understand.
What? Since when is there a non-toxic relationship in AA? I mean, there's not a lot of romantic relationships in general. The only one I can think of is the one in Trials and Tribulations between fucking motorcycle girl and fucking loser guy. I'm sure there were other ones, but that's the only one I can think of at the moment.
The opportunity won't come again, I might add. Wouldn't you like to see the fruits of my labor?
Oh, well, we do have a rather pressing investigation to carry out. Perhaps we could postpone.
Like to sign up to be loser guy if it gets me motorcycle girl. Yeah, that man, that fucking trial, man, they gave me hope. I was like, you know what? Maybe I won't be alone forever. That was quickly squashed after I finished that trial, but you know, it's nice to have for a brief time.
The price is a very reasonable 5 shillings. I think you'll find it's well worth it.
Are you being quite serious, Mr. Sholmes?
Surely you need only look at my expression to ascertain if this is a seriousness or silliness.
I can never tell with you, that's the point. I want to play more Bald Gay, but I don't want to get invested in anything when I need to go to bed preferably soon. I have work in the morning. I have no fucking idea what you're talking about. Oh, Baldur's Gate. Okay, yeah. I got it. I was like, what fucking game that people are playing would be reduced to Bald Gay? Anything you can land yourself a femboy GF male? Unfortunately, I am not interested. I can never tell with you, that's the point. I like my women to be more masculine than most women. Femboy is the absolute wrong direction. Imagine being reduced to bald gay. I work with a bald gay. Gets the point across.
Very well, it couldn't hurt. Here's your 5 shillings.
Gratefully received. So, the special exhibit awaits behind the curtain. I invite you to peruse it at your leisure.
Not even gonna open it for us? Wow, fuck you.
Well, the money's been spent, so let's go and see the special exhibit.
Through those heavy curtains at last. Oh, what are we gonna see? It's gonna be something familiar, I'm sure. It's gonna be like, he looks just like blank! 5 shillings we've had to pay. It doesn't seem right somehow that Mr. Shelm slipped the money into his own pocket, does it?
No. Ah, we can ask Trina to retrieve it for us, using her special skills.
Pickpocketing police officers and diddling detectives. Is this what makes Britain great? Toad, you gotta stop saying diddling, man. Not to mention demigod prosecutors taking the law into their own hands, or chip-loving inspectors.
Inspector Grayson comes off rather well on that list, I think.
Also hesitant to keep playing it because while I'm having a wonderful time playing as a paladin, I also kicked a squirrel into a tree while trying to talk to it, and I'm nervous I'm going to do something that matters by accident. How do you do that by accident? What? I just like people who defy gender norms. I mean, so do I just don't like the other side. My type of woman very much defies gender norms, but femboys I don't particularly care for. I exist now. Woo, hey Doppel, how's it going? Welcome in. How you doing? Alright. What's it gonna be? The backstory is your intrusive thoughts are strong and violent, so my character literally doesn't really control it. I murdered a bard in my sleep with my bare hands. What the fuck? Thanks, had dinner. What I missed? We are just in the middle of investigating the mystery that has happened. And we believe that the mystery masked man that is Beric Van Zeek's apprentice is Kazuma from the first game, who we thought died, but maybe faked his death, or had a near-death experience and lost his memories, because apparently he has amnesia now. We're not sure. And also, apparently, this exhibit has been returned.
Oh dear, I felt a shiver run down my spine as soon as we walked in here.
And of course, we can't see his head, so we don't know what they actually look like. Berton just gave me his dead son's shield. Yep. Fart lamps. I'm sure he would take that well. Mr. Sato! I said we turn our heels and go straight home via a really big confectionery.
We certainly can't do that. We've paid 5 shillings already.
True. Actually, now that I'm looking a little more closely, we've paid good money to see an exhibit that's clearly incomplete. Cosma died on the ship? Maybe. We're not sure, but apparently, there's a lot of evidence pointing to him being Cosma. The nerve of the great diddling detective is far more terrifying than anything else in this place.
This must be what Mr. Shelms meant when he said the case was largely solved.
Alright, so I'm pretty sure at the end of the case, or like some point during the final trial, we're gonna get the head and be like, what the fuck? It'll look familiar. Be that as it may, Mr. Soames heavily implied there'd be a clue about the engineer in here, didn't he? But where? We paid 5 shillings, let's do 5 shillings worth of investigation, shall we?
Yes, we will get what we paid for.
Is that fear or frustration that's making Susato-san's voice tremble? It's Cosmo's corpse. Alright, I'll be right back. I gotta refill my water. And then we'll continue on. I want to get to the to be continued for this stream, and then I might actually end stream early because I'm very hot and I'm actually like feeling kind of faint. So I might have to end stream early. But depending on when we get the to be continued, it might be only a little bit early anyways. Alright, be right back. All right, I'm back. Got a drink and I got a muffin. Put some fuel in the tank. All right. I noticed this guy over here is a camera, and I think that's probably the clue.
This part of the exhibit is just as disturbing as the rest. It looks so real.
Seems to be a young man in a white overcoat.
And he has a large shovel in his hand, too. Look.
Perhaps we should investigate in a little more detail. Can I see his face? Ah, he's also got a monocle. I can't see his face very well, can you? Perhaps if I just...
Oh, do you think you should be manhandling the exhibits, Mr. Naruto?
I'll put it back exactly as it was, don't worry. Ah!
What on earth? How can...
I don't believe it. A black monocle.
Mr. Naruto, is it possible that this man is...
Yes. Yeah, I thought it looked like him. It's Anik Drebber.
The color of his hair is different, but it's unmistakably him.
You... Indeed it is. Sholmes again. Mr. Sholmes!
This man is the subject of your present hunt, I believe.
Yes, that's right. Bald call? Yeah, I mean, you can kind of tell based on the hair. Just who is this man? Why is he here in this exhibit? And why does the convict behind him have no head? And seen the man hat? Yeah, we got the picture of him before you got here.
The head was missing when the model was returned by the thief who stole it.
What a surprise. But then the case isn't yet solved, is it?
Did I not say so myself? Largely solved were my words, I believe. But I must locate the missing head tout de suite, as Madame would say, or I'll be in grave trouble. A very hungry Iris still awaits my return to Baker Street, preferably with rations. Ah!
Do you know, though, something about this room is strange.
Strange? What do you mean?
Well, the displays in the House of Horrors are supposed to depict real events, are they not?
Indeed they are, Mr. Sato. Do go on.
Can't tell if Fortom's gonna backstab me still. Doubt he is at this point, but still gives me hidden villain vibes. He's just so nice. Like, I get it. Normally when someone's super nice in fiction, like, it is the precursor to a betrayal. But, he just seems to be, just a really nice guy. Also, I think my stream bitrate is kind of, poopy right now. Like, it just dipped for a second there. Nice people can't exist is the moral of the story.
And as terrifying as they are, the scenes in the other exhibits are believable. But this one... This surely couldn't ever really have happened, could it?
Is the professor still at large? I think it's time I educated you a little. About the nature of the incidents involving the professor 10 years ago.
Whoops. I don't know what to hit. Nope. I want to back out, but right click's not working. There we go.
I believe I told you a little about the professor yesterday, did I not? He took the lives of 5 victims, everyone being either a member of the aristocracy or royalty. All were attacked by an enormous hunting hound and had their throats ripped from their... Jesus Christ! An enormous hunting hound and had their throats ripped from their bodies.
That's fucked. So yeah, the bee on the thing is the Hound of the Baskerville, and that's got to do with this case.
Oh gosh, an enormous hound? How awful.
Down the back is blinking, part of the exhibit. I don't know, I didn't notice it blink. Concerning? Oh yeah, you see the lights flicker like that. I'm pretty sure it's part of the exhibit.
After taking the life of his 5th victim, the killer was apprehended. It was a case of unprecedented magnitude in Britain, you understand. Accordingly, the professor was tried in a closed court. No members of the public were permitted.
A closed court? Do you mean that the professor's identity?
As you've surmised, my dear fellow, his identity was never made public. Naturally, he was found guilty and was summarily sentenced to death by hanging.
Can owls blink? I know that they can't turn their eyes. I'm pretty sure they can blink. I've seen them blink. You're correct in that they can't turn their eyes. And they have ears at different levels, so they can tell, better triangulate where a sound comes from. They can tell at what distance it is. And their flight is almost entirely silent. In fact, it's almost impossible to pick up even with high sensitivity microphones. Owls are cool. I like owls. I don't think I like Ishtola's new voice. I honestly don't remember her original voice. But her new voice is okay. I'm not crazy about it, but it's pretty good.
However, that was not the end of the affair.
Oh,
The very night that he was buried, the convicted man came back to life.
Came back to life. Remember, lines sound stilted. I also find that the voice acting gets better as you go along. I think they get better with the direction of it. I think since they changed everybody with Heavensward, they were still kind of getting used to it. But once again, I haven't played Heavensward in a long time, so I can't verify that. I like the voice acting in Shadowbringers for sure. Shadowbringers has really good voice acting.
Clawed his way out of the ground and emerged into the moonlit graveyard. The exhibit here depicts that very scene as described by the sole witness to those chilling events.
There was a witness.
But of course, my dear fellow, it was none other than the young man in the white overcoat.
Enoch Drebber. You saw it happen? I'll see how it is after Heavensward. Well, you really can't, because you can't play it. But one day. So this is a waxwork model of Enoch Drebber.
10 years ago, the convicted professor, having been gibbeted and buried, emerged from his grave in the dead of night. Sole witness to that unimaginable scene was this young man.
When I buy it, I will? I thought you said you were going to buy it. You didn't have the money.
From appearances, I would say he was about 20 years old.
it's so horrifying.
Scared out of his wits, the young Drebber ran to a nearby police station to report the incident. And the sheer terror of what he'd seen is said to have turned his hair white overnight.
Yes, as shown in the photograph we have of him. His hair is completely white. I'll buy it eventually, fair enough.
For the following few days, the story of what he'd seen was on every front page of the Capitol. The public was frantic for every last detail about the killer who'd come back to life. As you've seen, an exhibit was even created here at Madame Truspel's.
I can quite understand why the man's hair turned white, certainly. But what I don't understand is what Mr. Drebber was doing in the first place, in a lonely graveyard in the middle of the night.
Sells riding his Frelger? Ah, I know exactly what cutscene you're in. Yes, what was he up to? It is pretty red.
The professor's acts of terror threw London's upper classes into complete panic 10 years ago. It was a great scandal, one might say, at the very highest levels of society. And since the killer's identity was never made public, rumors around it. After all, no killer had ever before systematically employed a dog as a weapon of murder.
Yes, I can imagine the impact the case must have had.
But in time, of course, the rumors abated. So too did talk of the shocking witness account of the convict who came back to life. It was forgotten, dismissed as a dubious ghost story, as a preposterous parlor tale.
But why did people stop believing it?
Just having a sad monologue, and I was just thinking, whoa, cool dragon. Hey, dragons are cool, man. Eyelash on my mouth.
Why, simply because there was no resurrection to speak of, as was established in fact.
What do you mean by no resurrection?
The police investigated the grave in Logate Cemetery and published the findings. The convict's body was found to be buried exactly where it had been following the execution.
No. But that would mean Mr. Drebber must have lied to the police and the newspapers.
That would appear to be the only logical explanation, yes. The young man subsequently vanished from society and nothing has been heard of him since. Rather striking, then, that she should resurface now, don't you think?
I think maybe the police might have lied. Of course, the convicted murderer couldn't really have come back to life. That's not possible. But Drebber's hair is unusually white, and if that really did happen overnight as a result of shock, hard to believe the incident was an out-and-out lie. Okay, can we present stuff to him now? Hang on. If I move... Okay, no, we need to keep investigating here.
This must be the killer, the fiend known as the Professor.
Yes, I think so. According to what Madame Tuspel said, he killed 5 victims, all of noble or royal blood.
The waxwork is so lifelike, isn't it? Like all the models in this place.
I know. Looks like it could start moving at any moment, doesn't it? Only it had a head, that is. Perhaps we should examine it in a little more detail. Okay, here we go. The neck?
So this is the condemned man.
Yes, the so-called professor.
Then perhaps his head was chopped off by a guillotine. But unable to find peace, he emerged from his grave as a headless ghost.
Do we have to entertain such terrifying ideas, Mr. Sato? Anyway, I'm sure the model had a head once. There's a metal fitting for it, see?
Then perhaps Mr. Sholmes absentmindedly forgot to reattach it.
That's an extremely absent-minded detective you're describing, isn't it?
Or perhaps the thief absentmindedly forgot to include the head when he or she returned it to the museum.
And that would be an extremely absent-minded thief. Would there have been some reason why only the head wasn't returned? Well, whatever the reason. It means we don't know what the face of the infamous professor looked like, do we? Oh. There's something caught just inside the convict's jacket here. Found the body double. It looks like a piece of broken glass, and quite a big piece, too.
It's very thick, isn't it? About 5 times thicker than normal window glazing, I'd say.
Where could such a thick piece of glass have come from, I wonder?
I suppose it must have been made thick to increase its strength.
But why?
Well, perhaps because the glass had to span a particularly wide area, such as in a big building, for example. Like some sort of tower. Made of crystal. No, I got nothing.
Ah, well, we've seen a large glass building recently, haven't we? And some of the glass was broken, too.
You don't mean.
Exactly. The Crystal Tower at the Great Exhibition.
But why would glass from the crystal tower be lodged inside this waxworks jacket?
It makes you think, doesn't it? Bingo. Wait, no hot ice elf lady? Yep. Very tragic. Only in court we established that the kinesis experiment was a trick. And now we discover this fragment of glass here in this waxwork. Is it just a coincidence? Were you not scared Susato always plays the idiot, huh? Yeah, I mean, it's kind of inevitable that, like, somebody has to play the idiot because they have to explain it properly for the audience. So, like, there's always some person that they're explaining things to. Actually liked her. I did too. Ice Heart was a good character. But, I think she also had a pretty good storyline, so I'm not really that miffed about it. Is there anything else here? Nope. Okay. That's it for that.
This part of the exhibit.
Okay, no. I think we have more stuff to look at this. There's a camera here. What's this here?
Well, this would appear to be a lens in the middle, so I believe it's probably a camera.
A camera? But it's so small. British technology is incredible, isn't it? I mean, what about Mr. Sholmes' skin prints?
I think perhaps you should treat Mr. Sholmes' inventions as exceptions to the rule. But anyway, why would the man be in a graveyard at night with a camera?
I wonder. Perhaps he was trying to capture the moment a dead body came back as a ghost on film. This entire area is a gamer's computer setup? You're not wrong.
We'll just borrow this for a little while, I think.
Nice.
By looking at the photographic plate inside the camera, we can see what picture was taken.
The photographic plate.
It's a piece of glass coated in a special emulsion that reacts to the light coming in through the lens. If we open the cover at the back of the camera, we should find it. Let's have a look.
You can see yourself, Susato-san. Your eyes are shining. You really do like machinery, don't you? There we go. That should be everything. Well, the shovel's something. We'll take a look at the shovel.
What a large shovel. He's holding it rather ominously, isn't he? What on earth was the man doing with a shovel in the graveyard in the middle of the night?
Miss Susato.
Yes?
That's a spade, isn't it?
No, what's this?
Oh my god. Is this the fucking stepladder debate? Is this game's version of it? That's awesome, actually. We finally got it. It's different, but it's here.
No, it's a shovel.
No, shovels are for digging. That's for scooping up loose material. It's a spade.
We've been through this, Mr. Naruto. It's a shovel.
No. Although, we haven't considered trowels.
We've allowed ourselves to be distracted, I feel. Perhaps we should concentrate on what the man was doing with the implement.
We're going to bury the hatchet. You're right, though. What was the man doing in the graveyard in the first place? That's the real question. Hell yeah. We got it. It's a real Ace Attorney game. That's quite a large lamp the man's carrying. I feel like there must have been they said like they've had that debate before. I feel like there was one in the first game that I missed. Yeah, finally delivered. Hell yeah. Quite a large lamp the man's carrying. Or is it a lantern? It's not unlike a Japanese Chochin paper lantern, actually, isn't it?
Lamp, lantern, chochin. The point is, it casts very little light. To be walking alone in a graveyard at night with only this. Well, I certainly couldn't do it.
Not sure I could visit a graveyard at all, even in broad daylight, to be honest. Okay, I think that's it here. Yep, okay. Where was it in the first game? I never ran into it in the playthrough. In the first game, it was in the Steel Samurai case. It was in one of the... like one of the stages. Studio 2, that's where it was. There was a stepladder there. And that was where the first debate had. I like how the Aetheryte looks in the gamer area. They have a lot of different Aetheryte designs. They get pretty wacky.
Oh, what the bleeding Naruto? What have you gone and done?
Gina, what are you doing here?
I asked Iris and she said this is where you'd be, so... So? I don't know.
Gina, not so loud in the museum.
Adam Dispels will have you take a position as a waxwork if you're not careful.
I like her hat, it's good. I think there might be a more pressing concern.
I still had some flash powder left from 6 months ago, so...
Alright, Gina, we understand. Jesus Christ! But please, put down the gun!
It's frog-like, it is frog-like. I totally see it.
Sorry, I got scared. Just don't come to school tomorrow, alright?
Try being the one on the other end of the barrel. So, what brings you here, Gina?
What brings me here? What do you think? We found it! We found that Dodgy Cove's workshop!
What? You found Trevor's workshop? Also, all of you missed the introduction of the new best Ace Attorney character in the entire franchise. I would like you to meet Toby. He is perfect.
Magnifique.
I was here, don't say all of you. You and Toaster are the same person, so technically you weren't here. She just materialized a dog. White girls, I swear. Hey, look, man. You gotta fit it on the subway somehow.
Yep, Toby's nose took me straight here. Straight there. The boss and the others are heading over there as we heading over there now in a drag. So come on. Here's the address. I got the boss to write it out.
Oh, thank you, Gina. We'll make our way there at once.
All right then. See you there. You go. Don't mind me. I'll just stay here, being still. What? I know my place. In the exhibit over there.
Oh, he's become a hentai protagonist. That's concerning. What does the pickpocket do now? She's a fucking investigator for the police. She's the apprentice to Gregson.
Oh dear, someone is feeling sorry for himself.
Let's go, Mr. Sholmes. You're coming.
Your words harden me, I must say. But if I were to shirk my duties here,
She's become the enemy ACAB. I don't make the rules.
Madame would have me pay monetary.
Forget that. I'll pay everything.
Then there's not a moment to lose, my dear fellow. I shall hail a carriage at once.
No offer to share the cost for Mr. Sholmes, then.
I shall gladly pay half, Mr. Naruhodo.
Thank you, Mr. Sato. Right, let's go. We might actually, take the full, episode. Or full flowers to do this episode. Thankfully, they haven't given me any, like, really hard-to-do voices in this, so, like, my voice is doing okay. There's particular ones that fucking destroy it. And we haven't run into. 23rd of October, Enoch Drebber's workshop. Maybe now. I think we're going to investigate this still. Oh, there's the arrows. That looks like.
Oh, it's another super high voltage instantaneous kinesis machine.
Indeed would appear so. Only a prototype, naturally. Ah, so you got here then.
Gina, well done for finding this place. And in such little time. You've really worked miracles.
Oh, maybe you run into the voice? Maybe.
It's Toby who's a miracle worker. You know, look at this little snuffer. He's constantly wagging his tail. Oh, he's the best. I love him.
This actually shows his lab. Gregson, what the fuck happened to your eyes?
Ah, I thought you would show up before long.
Hello, Inspector. That's one knitted brow. Looks like he's eating a lemon, not a bag of fish and chips. Not too big on dogs? I love dogs. I like cats too, though. He's holding it a big shit.
I gotta fucking take the Browns to the Super Bowl if you know what I'm talking about, but there's nowhere to drop a deuce, so I just gotta leave it.
So, Inspector, is there any sign of the engineer?
Sadly not. We didn't find a soul in here.
Oh, what a shame.
Well, thank you for letting us know about this place and giving us the chance to investigate. I could leave dogs, but I love my stinking goblin. Some people are cat people. Cats are good. I like both. I prefer dogs, but I still like cats.
According to what Gina tells me, we only found it thanks to a clue you lot turned up. I wouldn't want to, say, go to Paris with a debt of gratitude unpaid now, would I?
Thank you. Did Gregson ever get a demotion after what happened in the first part? I don't think so, but he is getting transferred to France.
Anyway, if you're open to snooping around in here, I'd get cracking. Lord Van Zeeks and the forensic investigation team are on the way as we speak.
Them again.
I imagine you got the picture by now. I don't take too kindly to lawyer types.
Right.
So then, my dear fellow, let's turn this place upside down whilst we had the chance. And you, Sholmes. Pardon? They take even less kindly to great detectives than they do to lawyers. Ha 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 ha! Ah, very droll, Gregson, very droll. But you may consider me nothing more than an inconspicuous waxwork model.
Right then, let's see what we can find in here. Transferred to France, basically fired. Yeah, we're not sure why he's going to France, but I have a feeling it's going to become plot relevant at some point. It's a European-style quiver of arrows with steel bolts inside. I wonder what the difference between a European-style quiver and a Japanese-style quiver is. Like, I wonder what the specifics are.
Oh, do you suppose?
Crossbow bolts, these.
and just the right size for the bow you lot turned up at the exhibition grounds. In other words. Yep, that's more evidence to support your theory. It all goes to show that Drebber was the one pulling the strings behind the scenes of the whole scam. Hell yeah. Alright, so there's that. What's behind here? This door doesn't want to open. Yeah, it looks like it's got a pretty hefty lock on it. There's a specialist locksmith on his way over from the yard, so hands off till he gets there. Check Discord. Let's see. Ah, okay. That makes sense. Japanese style is more of the skeleton of a quiver than the full thing.
With permission, Inspector, I could have that lock open in less than a minute.
Well, you don't have permission, and no one's giving it to you. Dixon looked as though he really enjoyed that.
Well, there's no sound of anybody on the other side.
Nah, Trevor must have fled at the first sign of danger. Okay.
I'm sorry, Mr. Naruhodo. That machine is covered by the Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act. There would be serious repercussions if you were to examine it, from the Crown and the government.
Okay. Now those two don't seem to be holding back.
It's quite hollow inside. No working parts of devices of deception to be seen, my dear fellow.
No loose chains dropped on the floor, nothing. Not even a bone for Tubby here, my dear fella.
British people are very much ruled by their own ideals, aren't they?
I think that's just these two, Mr. Sato. Hey, what about this trophy?
Ah, this appears to be most interesting. Yes, most interesting indeed, wouldn't you say?
It's an impressive looking bask massager, that's for sure. I've no doubt that if you hit your shoulders a few times with that, your aches and pains would soon go away.
It's a Royal Society trophy for excellence in science. A young scientist could wish for no higher honor.
Ah.
Would you like a massage?
No, I'm fine, thank you. I had no idea it was such a grand thing.
I think it's becoming increasingly clear that there's much more to this Mr. Anik Drebber than conjuring tricks.
I couldn't agree more, my dear madam. And how about you, Mr. Naruhodo? Wouldn't you like to take it with you? For your tired shoulders, of course.
He's not gonna let that go, is he?
It's curious, though, isn't it? You would expect such an important trophy to be proudly on display somewhere, not haphazardly cast aside.
Offered his boyfriend a massage, how adorable. He's trying to make up for how toxic the lies he is told are.
English gentlemen can be quite a mystery at times.
Alright, we're gonna have to investigate that. Oh?
Oh,
Something wrong, Mrs. Sato?
well, I thought I heard a noise from the far side of that door. Well, Gina, did you hear it too?
Yeah, I heard it and all. What you reckon, Toby? You're right. We must kill Sholmes. Right, mind the grease. Whoever's in there, open up! It's the Scotland Yard! Both know that's not the reason Sholmes is too stupid to make up for the lies he tells. Alright, also fair. He's running.
Oh my, someone is in there.
Ah, this rotten bleeding lock!
My dear Gregson, as I said only minutes ago. If only it were countenanced, I could unlock that door in less than a minute.
Come on. Fine, I'll take the rap for it. Just get us through that blasted door.
There, you may enter at will.
I've confused minutes with seconds, I think. Fuck me. It's the only thing you're good at.
Time is of the essence, I feel. What are we waiting for?
Nothing for it, I suppose. This is an emergency.
There's a strong possibility that beyond that door is the engineer you will seek. Be prepared for action, my dear fellow.
Yes. Yeah, lock-picking lawyer speed. Oh, that's a concern. What? What's happened in here? Why is everything upside down?
Rats, ain't no one here after all.
I want to learn to pick locks. I kind of also want to learn how to pick locks. It seems really interesting.
But there must be. It was only moments ago that we heard those noises.
That was the sound of Drebber running away.
There's only one door inside this room.
He's in the safe.
No windows that could afford an escape route. Those skylights are too high.
Well, he's got fucking footprints on it, so, what's that up there? Are they footprints? On the ceiling? Blow me, what have we here? What? I will do no such thing, Gregson. What have we here, then? Just ignoring the fucking time bomb in the room, huh? Looks like someone was trying to burn something in a hurry.
Oh, that looks like a set of blueprints.
What? Get that Professor Hairbrain's barmy machine, isn't it? Blimey, if we had these, there'd have been no need to muck about trying to investigate all that scrap metal.
There is something of great interest here, too. This rope was lying on the floor at the foot of that pillar.
A rope? What's significant about that?
Never mind. You see, but you do not observe, Mr. Naruhodo.
We must investigate the entire room thoroughly, and before the forensic investigation team arrive too.
I'm blushing just about anyone, to be honest. Oh, that is how you live your life. A very large safe. I don't suppose even Mr. Sholmes could open that lock. Although, if you were a thief, you could just steal the entire thing, I suppose.
It's bolted to the floor to prevent exactly that sort of underhanded trick, Mr. Naruhodo.
Well, that's an underhand trick. That's a mistake. Well then, you could just steal the floor as well, I suppose.
I'm sorry, but you really aren't making any sense at all.
Dance of deduction time? Oh boy.
Anyway, I think we can agree that whatever is inside must be very important.
Mr. Sholmes, have you found something?
Ah, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, in point of fact, something rather fascinating. What do you make of this?
Let's see. Never seen anything like it before. I know, my voice doesn't hurt yet, so I figured I just want to go until we get to the end of the scene. Which in this case is going to take us the whole stream, so. Fine by me. I was in the middle of eating, guys. We did have a pretty short episode of AA last time, so. Making up for it. Miss Usato, what's the matter?
That's a... Dorothy, that's a time bomb, isn't it?
What? Did you say?
Time bomb?
Sorry, but what is a time bomb exactly?
Eh? You truly are one of a kind, Mr. Naruhodo.
I won't take that as a compliment.
Ha! You don't know nothing, do you, Odo?
You haven't got a clue what it is either, have you, Gina?
I invite you to consult the dictionary later, Mr. Naruhodo. But this particular specimen is no time bomb, though I confess it has a very similar appearance.
Oh, well, thank goodness. But then, what is it?
I see, so that's it.
Goodness, Mr. Sholmes, have you seen to the heart of the matter?
There are times when I consider my lot most unfair, for I'm fated never to know how it feels to flounder as you do when a puzzle presents itself. But I have learned to accept the hardships that come with being a great detective, Miss Usato.
Here we go. I feel a great deduction coming.
Once again, I can draw two conclusions from the scene we see before us. The first is that the inverted nature of the furniture in this room is the work of Drebber himself.
Oh, but how could you?
And the second conclusion is that the small device on the floor there is without question completely genuine.
Please, Mr. Sholmes, you must explain everything.
would be a pleasure. After all, it is a great detective's civic duty to teach Scotland Yard the finer points of the trade.
I love this face. Well, Inspector Gregson seems delighted with the idea anyway.
Oh, you deflected the inspector's glare with such fortitude there, Mr. Sholmes. Well done.
You're too kind, my dear madam. I hereby dedicate this great deduction to you. Kindly stand just there, Miss Susato.
Oh, yes. I'd be delighted.
So, shall we begin? Once again, Herlock Sholmes is proud to present his Logic and Reasoning Spectacular.
Alright, cut a rug, Sholmes. Topic 1. Flipped furniture. I love how excited Susato is.
It's plain to see that this room is in complete disarray. The bed, the table, the chairs, the lamp, everything is upside down. Almost as if every item in the room had until recently been happily positioned on the ceiling, before falling straight down onto the floor.
Every item in the room was on the ceiling. Are you suggesting that?
Indeed, the key here is gravity.
Oh, this is a very dynamic deduction.
It would appear that technology has at last succeeded in freeing us from the great pull of the Earth.
Why is she still so excited? She sees all of them torn apart and helped tear them apart? Well, yeah, but it's still fun. Still a performance.
For the gravity in this room was reversed and then suddenly restored to normality.
Goodness.
The inverted furniture clearly reveals the truth about the part of gravity played in this whole business. I quite understand your skepticism, Miss Susato. I too was incredulous at first. However, my conviction in my analysis was cemented when I observed this. An anti-gravity device, almost identical to one that featured in a dream of mine only the other day, in fact.
But then why does it have a clock on it?
Most relevant question indeed. That is a timing device that controls when the gravity direction will switch. There is clearly a requirement for the engineer to be able to restore normal gravity automatically.
I wonder if you wait if this will go off screen. Like it'll just keep going all the way up until it's fully off screen. It doesn't seem to be stopping. Oh, the time bomb stopped. So there is a limit. Pretty long limit though. Maybe it just will go all the way off screen. Hit the border. Alright, well, I'm just gonna keep playing the game.
There was clearly a requirement for the engineer to be able to restore normal gravity automatically.
It's gonna go all the way!
And the commotion was heard earlier from the other side of the door was the moment the restoration occurred. Yes, the reason why everything in here has been turned upside down is because of the anti-gravity device. So you see, we need to look no further to explain the state in which we now find this room. The direction in which gravity acts in here was reversed by Mr. Drebber, before being restored to normality in an automatic fashion by sometime later by the timer device. I've witnessed precisely the scene in a dream I once had when I fell out of bed.
Conclusion, his gravity was reversed. Huh. Well, shall prove my theory wrong. Oh, that the whole room moved? Yeah, I don't think that's the case. There's also these drawers up here with things hanging, as you can see. Sorry, Sholmes, but what are you on?
Opium! Now let us consider the next conundrum. What was our engineer's friend's aim? Indubitably, the greatest clue we have to explain his actions is above our heads.
Yes, how is it possible that there are footprints all the way up there on the ceiling?
A question whose answer will lead us neatly to the truth, my dear madam. The reason there are footprints on the ceiling is because of the nearby skylight. Of course, Trevor's aim was singular, to escape. However, there is but one way into this room, excepting the skylight that is.
Ah,
Ooh.
By inverting the gravity in here, Trevor was able to fall conveniently to the ceiling, and to make his escape via the otherwise inaccessible skylight, leaving those footprints behind on the way.
but the ceiling in here is very high, Mr. Sholmes. If the gravity reversal was sudden, wouldn't Mr. Trevor have fallen up to the ceiling rather violently?
The direction for this deduction is great. All the flipping in the gravity moving and shit.
Falling up is both scientifically and philosophically a rather interesting concept, I feel. But the man was cornered with nowhere to run, so escape through the skylight was his only option. You may recall that I found this in the room earlier, which I believe offers a solution.
Oh, the rope.
To reach the intended destination, what better tool than this rope? By anchoring one end to the wall, the man was able to lower himself safely to the ceiling. Which explains how Trevor was able to escape this room before our arrival. He reversed the pull of gravity and fled via the skylight. And personally, I should very much like to reverse the pull of gravity again now, just for fun.
Topic 2. Missing engineer. Conclusion. Escaped via the skylights.
Thus concludes Harlock Sholmes' great deduction of this topsy-turvy puzzle.
Alright. Yeah, Gregson is me right now. And I wish I was Gina. Cutest dog. Love that pupper. Waiting for one of the dancers to have a 3-parter. Oh, like the big finale one is gonna have like a fucking just absolute shit show. Pretty great. I don't think he limped since that was Sholmes' deduction. I'm pretty sure he's in the safe. Because we heard a door opening and shutting. Either he's in the safe or he left something in there and then escaped somewhere else, but I think he's in the safe. He's completely spellbound. Mr. Sholmes, there is just one thing that troubles me. Yeah, the squeaky door opened and shut. So, I'm thinking either he's in there or he put something very important in there.
I would expect nothing less. You're destined to be troubled by just one thing for the rest of your life.
Hidden bookshelf door? Maybe, but I don't know how he would get it open if that was the case. The thing is such a thing actually possible? An anti-gravity device, I mean? Last dance of deduction is to be a straight-up fist fight between Sholmes and Ryunosuke? God, I hope so.
I would say that with man's current scientific knowledge at the turn of the 20th century, it's no more possible than instantaneous kinesis. Objection! Object this! Ha!
Your whole deduction hinges on it.
Ah, but my dear fellow, when you have eliminated the impossible, whatever remains must be the truth. However improbable it may seem. It's a marvelous line, wouldn't you agree? One of my more enduring pearls of wisdom. I'd Irish come up with the exact phrasing. My original was clumsy.
Yes, I have a feeling I've read it in something that Miss Susato let me once.
Objection!
Thanks for the objection, Susato.
Actually, there is one other thing, Mr. Sholmes.
By God, Ryunosuke is broken in half! Ah, the spell is broken at last.
The rope you found was on the floor, wasn't it?
Indeed it was, in lonely coils near the wall.
But if Mr. Trevor had used it to escape in the way you described, wouldn't it still be tied to the wall?
Doesn't Sholmes know martial arts? He certainly claims to. But so does Susato, and I can call her in as an ally.
Mysteries inevitably unravel in the end, as I think you'll find 2 ropes. And as evidence of such, we need only look at the mystery we faced in this room, now skillfully unraveled.
An argument is as circular as the coils of the rope.
I think perhaps we might need to give Mr. Sholmes the usual little helping hand. Susato takedown! Fucking through the announcer's table! I'm sure with some minor corrections, the Great Detective's great deduction will lead us to the truth.
I'm gonna have to make Susato in WWE 2K23. So when we do a stream of that, she can show up. We'll do her and Ryunosuke. I don't think I have the skills to make that, but we'll see. Yes, you're right. Susato throws Sholmes into the audience. Up against the barricade. Oh god. We must do it quickly before Anik Drebber gets too far away.
If you're ready, then let us resume. Sherlock Holmes' Logic and Reason Spectacular.
Alright, jackass. Alright. My coffee has stopped steaming. I'm gonna throw it in the fridge real quick. Do you eat your coffee? Jesus. Do you drink your coffee cold? Our turn? Hell yeah. We can see this room's complete disarray. The bed, the table and chairs, the lamp, everything is upside down. Almost as if every item in the room had until recently been happily positioned on the ceiling, or falling straight down onto the floor. Every item in the room was on the ceiling. Are you suggesting that? Did I overhear vicious mockery? To you? Yes. I'm asking you if you drink your coffee cold. Oh, look, the safe combination is on the bottom of the fucking chair. Well, the key here is gravity. Gravity, Arthur. It would appear that technology has at last succeeded in freeing us from the great pearl of the Earth. Everything was a rotating room. Yeah, Toaster had the same theory. Which is possible, but I think it's because the safe code's there that Anik Drebber or whoever is in here knew that the safe code is written on the underside of furniture, but didn't know which piece, and so had to turn everything over. Gravity in this room was reversed and then suddenly restored to normality. Goodness. Her furniture clearly reveals the truth about the part gravity played in this whole business. Yeah, he either forgot the safe password or wasn't Anik Drebber.
To think gravity could have been reversed in this very room. I find the whole idea utterly enthralling.
Only
Mr. Sholmes could conceive of such an explanation.
I'm gonna try having a cold and see if it keeps better throughout tomorrow. I know a lot of people drink cold coffee, so I'm not gonna make fun of you this time. I don't like coffee at all, so I can't really give you a hard time. Having the same thought, the stream freelance stopped being the hive mind. Can't help it. The man himself admitted it was a scientific impossibility, so...
Yes, you're quite right. We must completely discount the idea at once.
Oh, that's unusually merciless of you, Mr. Sada.
When you've eliminated the impossible, whatever remains must be the truth. The great detective himself said so, didn't he?
While refusing to part with his dreams of anti-gravity devices.
Yes, I suppose so.
Well, let's see if examining this topsy-turvy scene a little more closely reveals some proof that shows exactly what the gravity in this room was or wasn't doing. Let's see. Oh, we can't see the safe code. Not yet, anyways. Oh, upright vase. Joy. Well, I wasn't expecting to find a pretty bunch of flowers in here, that's for sure.
Ah, look at that!
I know, that slender little vase looks like it's about to topple at any moment, but the flowers are thriving. Somehow it makes you think of the fragility of life, wouldn't you say?
Be honest, Mr. Naruhodo. Something else about it made a rather deeper impression on me.
Yeah, it's because it's not broken.
Take that!
It's upright and not smashed. The upright vase clearly reveals the truth about the part gravity played in this whole business.
Upon my word, Miss Naruto, you suppressed yourself by completely turning my argument on its head. Who could have seen this coming? Trying to impress your assistants here, perhaps?
No one is trying to steal your spotlight here, Mr. Sholmes. Trust me.
As you rightly say, though, it appears at first glance that all the furniture in the room is upside down.
I think Sholmes and Ryunosuke are sliding around by using Heelys.
This unassuming slender vase is standing keenly to attention. And unlike the large safe, there is nothing affixing it to the floor.
And it's the exception that breaks the rule.
In short, much as it pains me, the gravity in this room was never inverted at all.
I have my deepest sympathies for your loss.
Oh, poor Mr. Sholmes.
But the show must go on, so let us continue with our deductions. Now that we know this contrivance is not in fact an anti-gravity device, there remains but one other possibility.
You don't say.
Someone deliberately turned over every piece of furniture in here.
Might sound obvious, but leaves one mystery very much unsolved. Namely, why would anyone choose to do that?
Right, and naturally there is an explanation. Yes, the reason why everything in here has been turned upside down is because of the anti-gravity device.
He's absolutely determined that this device must have something to do with it, isn't he?
I'm afraid the lure of an exciting scientific explanation is too strong.
Well, there's no doubt that somebody did this. Somebody turned all this furniture over. Whoever it was must have a reason.
I'm afraid nothing comes to mind at all, though.
Well, let's look around and see if the answer presents itself. Oops, wrong way. Bingo.
Take that!
I like the idea that he's just a lying bastard. I mean, pretty much. Yes, the reason why everything in here has been turned upside down is because of this safe combination.
Precisely, I believe, Mr. Naruhodo, that you had a very similar experience once, did you not?
Yes, last year, when I bought a lottery ticket and noted the ticket number down on the inside of a book cover, inside cover of a book, just in case.
That's it, for people are forgetful souls at heart and always make a written note of important information.
Just keeping the ticket itself safe would be more sensible, I think.
And what, pray, happened next, Mr. Naruhodo?
The day the draw came around, I'd forgotten which book I'd written the number in and had to turn my rune upside down to find it.
That's it, for people are forgetful souls at heart and always forget where they've noted things down.
Not if you always note things in the same place.
I actually won the second prize, you know. But I couldn't remember which magazine I'd slipped the ticket into, so I had to turn my rune upside.
Thank you, Mr. Naruhodo, but I believe I've proved my point now. Which is that a very similar scenario is clearly unfolded in this room.
Finding himself requiring access to the safe, the occupant of this room needed the combination code. He remembered that he'd written it on the underside of a piece of furniture, but forgot which one, leading to the state in which we now find the room.
Yes, Mr. Dripper overturned all the furniture in here, in a desperate hurry to locate the combination code that would unlock the safe.
Find the safe combination.
Now let us consider the next conundrum. What was our engineer's friend's aim?
We think he's in the safe still? Yeah, I'm not sure because I don't remember the order of the sounds that we heard behind the door. But I think he is because I'm pretty sure we heard the footsteps and then the door opening and shutting. So I think he's in the safe. Yes, we can slammer the last two, so I'm pretty sure that's the case. You got really unlucky having to flip that much furniture to find the code. Yeah, literally flipped everything, every single piece he had. Yeah, flipped the bed.
Indubitably, the greatest clue we have to explain his actions is above our head.
Yeah, all the wardrobes, like fucking everything.
Yes, how is it possible that there are footprints all the way up there on the ceiling?
A question whose answer will lead us neatly to the truth, my dear madam. The reason there are footprints on the ceiling is because of the nearby skylight.
Well, if a change in the direction of gravity can't explain it, then how did those footprints get there?
Yes, I feel as though that particular mystery has just become even harder to solve. I can't think of any other way to explain it at all.
Oh, life was so much simpler than those halcyon days when gravity could be reversed.
It was minutes ago, and those halcyon days never existed in the first place.
Well, I suppose we must simply put our faith in Mr. Sholmes and observe the area in more detail.
Our faith in Mr. Sholmes is what gets us into these situations in the first place. Okay. What does this mean? There's a shoe on the balloon as well. This is a gas balloon, isn't it? It's tiny, but it does seem to be a real balloon.
Yes, I think you're right. I think it's helium that's keeping it up.
A green gas balloon. Why does that seem to ring a bell with me?
If you can see, there are footprints on this balloon too. Look.
Oh yes, surely that's a clue, isn't it? Though what it tells us, I'm not sure. Was he trying to throw the shoe at the balloon to get it down? Hard to believe, but there's a shoe up there, look!
Oh yes, and there are more footprints on this little balloon too. Perhaps the shoe was thrown up there and became lodged, do you think?
If so, then judging from the number of footprints, it must have been thrown up several times. Why would anyone be throwing shoes up at the ceiling, though?
Oh dear, that's beyond me, I'm afraid.
I guess it's probably that, then. I don't know how that factors in, but... The reason there are footprints on the ceiling is because of the nearby shoe.
On closer inspection, there are clearly footprints all over the balloon as well. In other words, the aim was never the skylight at all, but the balloon.
Yeah, the fact that he threw the shoe and got perfect footprints on it was like... Were you a knife thrower in a past life?
But for what purpose?
A green balloon. That seems somewhat familiar data.
Ah, it was a piece of the green balloon's envelope that Mr. Naruhodo and Iris found at the scene.
And inside the green balloon that Master Guts claimed he saw above the stage when the incident occurred was the second birdcage, the crux of the whole instantaneous kinesis deception. They wanted to try and find less obvious ways to pop the balloon until they said, fuck it, just shoot the thing. Maybe.
You mean to say?
If we assume
the balloon is in here as a model of the one used on the day, there is a strong possibility something may be concealed inside it. Something our absconder once was desperate to retrieve before making a hasty getaway.
But the balloon's out of reach.
That's why he resorted to a projectile, namely the shoe. Most probably Trevor intended to tear a hole in the envelope by sealing it with the shoe. However, his efforts were thwarted when the shoe itself became a prisoner of those lofty heights.
Oh dear, we desperately need to examine that balloon. Only there was some way we could see inside.
Grace just pulls a fucking gun at it. Don't worry, I got it.
You may recall that I found this in the room earlier, which I believe offers a solution.
Are you missing a shoe when he's found? I'm thinking that's the case.
Oh, the rope!
To reach the intended destination, what better tool than this rope?
Mr. Sholmes has managed to bring the deduction back to the rope.
Alright, I have to admit, that was clever. We just throw the rope up to the balloon and then pull it down onto to us on the ground.
Which is much easier said than done, I feel. It could take us a very long time as well.
Takes skill to balance a shoe in a round balloon by throwing it on top? Yeah. Very unlucky, this guy. True, perhaps we need a more surefire method. In fact, we already have one, of course, don't we?
Take that!
An American lasso, yes. That's the first time we've had to present something as a way to get through this deduction. Reach the intended destination, what better tool than this crossbow?
That was found at the scene, in fact.
And in all likelihood belongs to Mr. Drebber.
If the man had only brought it away with him that day, he could have avoided losing a shoe at such a critical time as this. So, shall we? Your curiosity is deeply stirred, no doubt, my dear fellows. What is it that Enoch Drebber has hidden inside that balloon?
Aha! It's the head! Oh, it's an iron mask. Weird. What the? A waxwork? What do you mean it's a waxwork? That's not made out of wax, that's made out of metal. How could you possibly tell it's a waxwork?
Indeed it is. A waxwork head inside a metal mask. A mask that is shut tight and fastened with a strong and quite impenetrable lock.
But we can't see the face inside, that means.
Just a moment. This is the head of a waxwork model. Does that mean? Oh, goodness.
I see you've joined the dots, Mr. Sato. Excellent.
It is made out of metal? Is that how they executed people? Oh, there's like an iron mask thing that was like a punishment at one point in history. I don't know if this is the case of the use here. I don't know if this mask is like the original appearance of the professor or if it's something that Enoch Drebber put on. Or someone, someone did it. Ah, of course, a headless waxwork model. Case of the abducted Madame Dispel's model that you would largely solved. It was only the head of the killer that was still missing.
Indeed it was. but I believe Madame Tuspells will now have to settle her sizable account with me. This, as you can now surmised, is the head of the infamous professor.
Yes.
But why is it here?
This conclusively confirms my suspicions. The man responsible for stealing the professor from Madame Tuspells and returning it, sans take, earlier today was none other than Enoch Drebber.
Iron Mask was apparently called a scold's bridle and was used as a form of public humiliation. Oh, interesting. Professor Harebrain's case and the Waxwork abduction are inextricably linked by Enoch Drebber's workshop. I thought so.
Well, it appears our logical pleasure cruise has come to an end, my dear fellows. All that remains is, yes, to speak with the architect of this adventure.
Oh, this is a new part of the song.
The architect?
You mean Mr. Drebber?
As it seems quite impossible that he escaped via one of the skylights, obviously the man must still be here in the room.
What?
And his location should be abundantly clear. If you simply reflect on the journey we've made together during this deduction.
Enoch Drebber is right here, somewhere in this room.
So, Mr. Naruto, will you do the honors?
Yes, of course. Mr. Drebber's hiding place must be the...
Take that!
Easy. Fucking called it. Before we gained access to this back room, we heard noises from in here.
Which tells us that the engineer was still in the building at that point in time.
He was in fact searching for the combination to his safe.
And pressed for time, made no attempt to right the furniture that he had overturned in the process. From which we can deduce that his search for the combination happened very recently indeed. In summary, Mr. Enoch Drebber is at this very moment inside the safe. Thus concludes Sherlock Holmes' great deduction of this topsy-turvy puzzle.
Bingo. Deduction complete. Oh yeah, that was a fun one. I like that one. One of my more recent intrusive thoughts has been climbing in the safe at work. I kind of get it. I've had the same thing. And the inspector is here to make the arrest, or shoot him.
So, Mr. Naruto, I think perhaps it's time we end this game of hide and seek, don't you?
By opening the safe, you mean?
What else?
Let's see. The combination was 1... Didn't even get the first one number right.
432582.
I knew that. Alright, then here goes. I can imagine a worse way to die than suffocating in a shitty little box. Yeah, that's pretty bad. There he is. Oh, he's got both his shoes. You found me. Oh. Oh, Jesus. What the fuck? He's about to coffee grind on us? Oh my god. Look at him go. What the fuck?
Yeah, you found me.
Right then, sir. Mr. Enoch Drebber, I presume. Oh my god. Yeah, he's basically a machine. Correct. You better start talking. You tricked Professor Harebrain with that bogus machine you built.
And you shall have to explain the theft of the waxwork model, a waxwork from Madame Tuspells as well.
He's schmoovin'. Whilst I would I be delighted to answer your many questions. Personally, I would advise that you deactivate my little parcel first. Deactivate?
Or parcel.
I guess I can give him a mechanical voice. I was going like kind of Snape, but I can't really do his voice properly. Enoch Drebber, there's a pun in there. I think he was a reference to a Sherlock Holmes story. Ivory 4, of course. To the time bomb. I left it in a most prominent position.
Ah!
Ha. I see. Stunned silence. You're all gearing up to die with me then.
No! Mr. Sholmes, with only 7 seconds to spare.
That was too close for comfort. I've got 1 foot in the grave already. Are you trying to help us get a killer or get us killed?
Mr. Sholmes' deduction.
Did nobody notice the bomb fucking ticking this whole time? Everyone in this room is an idiot.
Mr. Sholmes' deductions can be completely life-altering, can't they?
Well, my dear fellows, that was a close shave. Resemblance to an anti-gravity device is really quite startling, I must say.
Anti-gravity devices don't exist.
Oof, I wouldn't push him, Mr. Sholmes. Hey, what is someone not an idiot? Alright, what happened here? What on earth happened in here? You found me, haven't you? No need to screw me down any further. Everything in here is precisely what it seems. Yeah, well, we'll be giving it a thorough going over, don't you worry, Trevor. What fails to click with me is how you were able to locate my workshop. That is not what I was not expecting. When I heard whistling from the other room, I knew it was time to bolt.
Whistling?
Ah, that would have been me.
Oh,
Breakdown's gonna be all the clockwork tech popping off or blowing up. Oh, maybe. Or him just like fucking contorting and falling apart.
For some reason, I woke up in a fine fiddle today.
No words, just tightly squeezed chips. He's not actually using mechanicals either. That's on? Yeah, I don't think so. I'm pretty sure that's just a glove, and I think he's just goofing around. Clearly, I must have a screw loose, though, as I couldn't remember the combination for the safe. And another one's loose, as I couldn't remember on which piece of furniture I'd written it down. We also found a rope over by the wall. Yes, I had hoped to exit through the skylight, but sadly the rope was too short. So I then set about searching for the combination code to open the safe.
And burning the incriminating blueprints, don't forget.
Perfect for a great breakdown? I'm hoping so. The last one was kind of not great.
Regrettably, though, you failed to retrieve the head of the balloon from the rafters.
And after that, you hid yourself inside the safe. Having first set this parcel ticking. Well, I had no intention of being nailed by the police. Got a jet wish, have ya? I'm right beside a ticking time bomb. Please, why do you suppose I chose to hide inside the safe? It's no ordinary safe, it's specially designed. A dynamite explosion wouldn't leave a scratch on it. Makes a lot of hardware puns, he does.
So in fact, the safe was the only safe place.
Precisely.
but once you'd climbed inside, you wouldn't have been able to get out again.
I invite you to look more closely. The safe is fitted with a handle on the inside to allow the door to be unlocked from within. Ah, so it is. It's also making a lot of confessions. Yeah, he set up a time bomb. That's a crime. You go to jail for that. I had always intended to blow up this place to smithers in any case. I just wasn't expecting uninvited guests to come along and screw up my plans. To you? Do you mean to say you're planning to blow us all up? No, that was unforeseen. What do you mean? Most people run, you see, when they see a ticking time bomb at their feet. Ah. I calculated the time required for retreat to a safe distance and set the device accordingly. But your seemingly endless discourse in here threw a spanner in the works.
Is something wrong, Gregson? Do I have something on my face besides the usual eyes, ears, nose, and mouth?
like that phrase, spanner in the works. It's a good one. I think we have a fairly good idea of what's been going on here now. What about the 2 incidents you've evidently been involved in recently? Professor Harebrain's instantaneous kinesis experiment at the Great Exhibition. And the waxwork model you stole, which this head belongs to. That's no ordinary head, you know. That's the head of the Professor. Ladine mask with a lock so strong I'm unable to open it to safely reveal the killer's identity. I've been considering carrying it around as protection. After all, that's an... oh, hi! Why are you here?
What's going on here, Gregson? I'm sure you're aware that I have sole jurisdiction to invest...
Oh, right, she's part of the forensics team. Mommy? Sorry. Sorry, Mommy. Sorry.
I'm sure you're aware that I have sole jurisdiction to investigate here.
Yes, well... Dr. Scythe again, so the forensic investigation team are here.
And you know full well this engineer is a key witness. Why are you allowing this lawyer access to him? If Lord Strongheart knew of this, you'd be finished.
You lot, leave at once.
My dear madam, there's no need for such a threatening tone, I assure you. After all, there's no way to greet an old acquaintance, is it, Dr. Scythe?
Hello, Sholmes. Mr. Sholmes knows Dr. Scythe?
If it's protecting the machine next door that's causing such a sour expression on your face, you are quite misguided. It's really nothing more than a shell, you know. Get out. But of course, we'll show ourselves the door. I see you haven't softened at all. Miss Norado.
Yes?
It would appear that our delightful, entertaining investigations have run their course for today.
But Mr. Sholmes.
Let us leave this place in the doctor's capable hands.
They're exes? They kind of seem that way.
I said to get out. Now. All of you. Your presence here is not required either, Gregson.
Understood. But I'll just say one thing before I head off. If it wasn't for this lawyer and his companions, we'd never have found this place, and the whole workshop would have been blown to bits. There was a time bomb sitting here that this lot disarmed. Inspector. Something giving you a chuckle, has it, Trevor? Ah, so sorry. Didn't mean to offend. You're quite right, of course. I was sorry. Highlighted there. You did disarm the time bomb, didn't you? Yes, you did disarm that one. Eh? What are you... That one? Yeah, you mean... Cook. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. That sounds like a crowd. Uh-oh. Oh, shit. That's bad. Oh, no. Uh-oh. Oh, we're about to watch people die. Ooh. Oh. It was an hour later that we heard the news. The enormous explosion that ripped through the experimentation stage at the Great Exhibition. Professor Harebrain's invention and all its secrets were blown away forever. He's actually a terrorist? Yeah, 100%. To be continued. Wow! What a crazy note to leave off on. That's nuts. What a cliffhanger. And he admitted it. Yes. That as well. That's a questionable choice, but I'm sure it's fine. Alright. Well, since that's gonna be the stream. We're actually 20 minutes to the normal time we end. We went extra long tonight because my voice was feeling up to it, so no Rayman 2 tonight, but hey, you know what? We've had some short episodes of this, so it's nice to make up for that a little bit. Their third game, a game 3? No, not for this. As far as we are aware, there's only these 2 games in the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. talk to you lasted this long. My throat is starting to hurt. But we got lucky in that most of the voices we encountered are pretty easy on my throat, so like there's really only once Shom started up that I like that voice is a little bit hard. Good night, Toaster. If I didn't say already. Alright, let's see where we're gonna drop you off, shall we? Tomorrow we'll be picking up more Rayman 2. That's the first time I told someone I was shocked about how long they lasted. Still fighting the Reaper and the Bailey? Yep. Still the prosecutor so far. Apparently he's gonna have an assistant next time though, which is pretty interesting. Let's see. Ooh, we got a couple choices here. Do we want to raid Tommy, Darian, or Bartholomew? I would love to raid Broken Admin, but he's playing Baldur's Gate 3, and I don't want to spoil myself for that game because I know I'm gonna play it for sure. We got some Wind Waker. We got a Link to the Past randomizer. Let's see, who should we raid? Let's go ahead. You know what? We haven't raided Darian in a while. Let's raid Darian. It's not a spoiler. Oh yeah, no, that's a vampire existing in a D&D setting is totally not a spoiler. Can I get the command to work, please? There we go. Yeah, it's like saying Strahd cursed people. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna go raid Darian. They're playing some more Wind Waker. I wonder where they're at. I think they're still searching for the Triforce currently. Oh no, she's actually found all the Triforce parts. She's going through the final dungeon right now. Hell yeah, that's poggers as fuck. All right, so she might be finishing this tonight, which is pretty exciting. Anyways, hope you all enjoyed. Thanks everybody who stopped by. Everybody was in the chat and everybody was looking. We appreciate you. And yeah, we'll be back here tomorrow with some Rayman 2. Playing more of that. Probably not finishing it, but probably getting pretty close. Or maybe we'll finish it? I don't know how many bosses there are before we get to the final one. I'm assuming there's 4 before the final boss, but I might be wrong. Anyways, everybody have a good night. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Where can I pick up your VODs of this so I can watch the parts I missed? So they should be on the Twitch channel under videos. If they're not there, it's because they've expired, in which case I have yet to upload them. But I do have the VODs. They will be uploaded eventually. Upon request, I can upload them sooner. Anyways, goodbye.